Yo, peace. YTBC. So, in the spirit of it being 420 somewhere, here I am coming to you live and direct. Yeah, I'm coming out of the tavern, the Mad Chads. I sorry for people who thought I'd be here, like not on CPT, California Pacific Time 420. Yeah, but here I am, ready. Like I haven't done a an afternoon stream. I don't know if I've ever done one. Oh no, I did one at when I got 420 subs a couple months back. But yeah, since then I haven't done a afternoon 420, and now I'm doing one, and I haven't done a Tuesday one really since I don't know the second or third week I was putting out content. So yeah, pardon me, but I say all that to say I've got workers in my house. The reason why I'm generally like not doing stuff, not doing lives, is because during the day I have a bunch of stuff going on. But I thought I could get away with it on a Tuesday. Not so much. I got caught up, but I'm here. Yo. And the format's a little bit different. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I have a song for you guys at the end to like wrap it all up. But this is like kind of a quick strike for me. At least I think it will be. And by quick strike, I mean not necessarily 12 hours. But I think a bunch of stuff is happening and has happened since the last time we had a chance to chop it up on Friday, that it's worth checking in with the community, with the YTBC, seeing what's going on with the pulse, see what's up with the temperature, put the wet finger in the wind, see which direction it's blowing. You understand all the metaphors. I want to know what's on you guys' mind, who are as in tune with the sports twists and turns as I am, at least as I am, or even if it's not as much as I am, in ways that I might not be. And maybe you're even more so than I am. So yeah, I learned from you, or I try to like impart what I know, and then yeah, we can all be edified through the process, and maybe take a couple chuckles along the way with us, and have our quality of life improved for the get us through it to being able to love one another a little bit better. It through a sport that is basically centered around beating the fuck out of somebody until they can't take it anymore. Shout out to Jeremiah Ponce and Subriel Matias, which we're going to get into in depth. Trust me, because I can't, like, when I get fights like that, I talk about them. When I get fighters like that, I talk about them. That's just me. That's the way I consume the sport. There's guys who are only interested in like big fights or specific fights or whatever. I like that too. It's not an either or. It's a both things for me. So yeah, I'm sparking it up. And one of the things that I've noticed, and this is like sort of friend of the channel. One of the earliest people, how do I even? All right, I'll put it this way. Wow. All right. So, pardon me, excuse me, people, if I have to put it on pause every now and again to like deal with the people who are putting in a new stove, and we're like remodeling the kitchen, and like anyway. Point being, just bear with, just bear with me. I'll get it together. Point being, what I've noticed in the YTBC lately and some of the stuff that I think is really um I've, like touched me on a personal level because of what elevated me from, and I don't even know why I use the word elevated. It's more like transitioned. And I don't mean that in like any sort of like, maybe even that's the wrong word in 2023, because now it's like I'm like non-binary or some shit like that. So the thing that I thought made me um I guess evolve is one way to put it, from a casual to a like a hardcore and a boxing fan, one that understood sort of more about the technical parts of the sport and also the business part of the sport. Um, all of that came out of, Oakland and a specific gym. And in the of doing these thumbnails, people may I I'm still getting used to the way that it's being presented to the audience versus the way it's being generated while I do it with Tommy. Is that there's a watermark at the bottom right. So I'm not sure on your device or however you saw this live was happening, if you could see who the faces were that I had on that thumbnail. But the thumbnail had Nonito Donaire and Junior and Senior. It had Teofimo Lopez Jr. and Senior, and it had Bill and Devin Haney. Right, in the whole like sort of theme of this whole like Springer idea, like vibe that I'm getting out of the YTBC when it comes to these very public family feuds. And while some people delight in this kind of things, some people find it cringe. I think whether or not you like it or dislike it, it misses the overall point that I think is often overlooked, and that's just the cost of what it takes to be great. How many people it takes to sacrifice their own, whatever it is, comfortability, like well-being, in order to achieve that thing. And how that is all often reflected in the sport of boxing. Like, this is not new. Like, so when it comes to Nonito, same gym. When it comes to the Haneys, same city. When it comes to the Lopez's, just um one of the channels that I used to go to a lot before we changed the format was a Punch Drunk. Whether or not we agreed or disagreed, as a matter of fact, like we used to, during the quarantine, we would just scream at one another forever. He thought that it was a great idea, for instance, that Devin Haney throw his belt in the trash. He's since recanted. Most of the things that he and I like you screamed at each other about, he's recanted, right? Because it was obvious on his face. There's whatever. It wasn't going to hold up well it wasn't going to age well. That history was on my side, and it turns out that's what it is. But point being, I got to speak to Teofimo Lopez on his channel during that time, and I before even Punch Drunk had a channel, but back in 2017, the I saw Teofimo Lopez putting the Teofimo Lopez Senior, or I saw Teofimo Lopez Jr.'s fights on YouTube, because I think he was like 7-0, and they had him out there, and it's because the Senior put him out there. And anyway, I really liked the kid back then, and everyone knows that there's like a lot of, at least the YTBC is saying that he should leave his dad. Even my own personal opinion, full disclosure, I think, and I've said this before, I think that they should at least add to the corner, not necessarily change the corner 100%, but at least add to it, right? So you have that, you have Bill Haney and Devin Haney, which is not necessarily, I don't think, an internal conflict, but the way that Bill Haney is interacting with the community is, I think, is now spilling over into sentiment about Devin Haney, right? So you have the way that Bill Haney is speaking, the way that YTBC is taking it, and and the way that that is now becoming a burden for Devin Haney, that in my view, like moving forward. So you have that kind of feud. It's not necessarily an internal feud, as at least not, and it's not a public one, but the public feud is really between Bill Haney and fans of Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez or Tank Davis or Lomachenko, or I don't know, people who like knockout power, like, which is like a lot of what you call like casual fans, like all of these different kinds of, I don't know about Camboso's fans. I don't even know what that looks like. Yeah. Anyway, point being, there is there's these feuds that are happening. I think some of that, it can't even be self-generated. Some of it is out-generated. And then, of course, we have the donaires, which is, I think, multi-layered. Um, and I'm just, especially for me, because of the personal nature of it, that doesn't have anything to do with the donaires, only tangentially. And then something like really specifically that does have to do with the donaires, because like when my first lives, maybe my first one or two lives when I started doing this regularly, was Rachel Donaire, you know, on tiered, like donating time, space, like our back and forth. I think people still talk about it. They give me the way that they tease me about it, or the way that they even try to ridicule me about it, just to me is like kind of a badge of honor, right? Like I've done something that people like feel some kind of way about one way or another. And really, I was just trying to do my duty for being a community member, being a person who had the time and the resources to go, like, 8 miles from their house with a cell phone, right? Yeah, but but right, as I was doing that, she was doing all kinds of like leg work to it. Nonito, Nonito Jr. and Senior, like, I'm not even, it doesn't even matter. But the point I'm trying, like the way that what is it? Beyond just the boxing aspect of it, I don't know that I've ever spoken about the fact that I had a family run business where, like, yeah, everyone was like on hands deck and had a role to do. And how, yeah, how incredibly challenging that is, to have work out. And I was doing that like beyond even the public, purview. Like, so I can't even imagine what it would be like to, have all of that be the consumption of strangers, and what sort of courage it might take. And then also what the responsibility of the viewer has, right? And so for me, my responsibility is just, the way that I perceive it is the sacrifices that people make for greatness. And if boxing is the family business, the toll that thing can take, and also how it actually edifies everybody, and how, if we are going to call ourselves boxing fans and try to hold these people to like fights we want to see, and if we want them to support our agenda and our self-interest, then I think it would be, I don't know, at least, like, fair is the first word that comes to mind, but I don't mean fair. I think it would be balanced. if once you see the member of community is suffering because of the sacrifice that they give so that we can be entertained and have our own self interest be satisfied. Yeah, I think yeah, I think we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to them and we owe it to the boxing family to just acknowledge, yeah, we see what's going on. It's not just um some kind of unsympathetic consumption of what is a real life and real time situation for people as they develop, as they go through life. For me, like all of the fighters, like every single one of them are like kids, right? And that's even the older ones, right? They're just like, and some of us were kids together, man. That may be an exaggeration, but like if you remember being 10 years old and holding a newborn in your arms, then you understand what I'm saying, right? And now I've rambled on about that particular thing. Also, just the last thing before we get into it, and I drop the link and all that other stuff. I hope, and I see who's in the building. Uh, on a brighter note, we got apparently Tank and Davis. Not Tank and Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fighting one another. And while it's not significant on a few different levels that some people might find valuable, it is one, I think it marks, I think it's a hallmark moment um, in the sense that now the DAZN has partnered up with an American broadcast company, one that's established in the business. It's no longer just a streaming service. To make a fight, we've seen PBC and Showtime collaborate for Wilder and Fury. We've seen HBO and ESPN do it for Al Heyman and Floyd when it came to Manny Pacquiao. I think it was HBO and Showtime too. ESPN and CBS to be. Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, we've seen Showtime, HBO, and ESPN, CBS like come together for the Manny Pacquiao. Um, so now we're seeing this happen again under the backdrop of the narrative that Showtime is going out of business, PBC is going out of business, PBC doesn't make big fights, they don't let their guys cross the street. Well, when you combine forces, you don't have to cross the street. It's just a big block party. And I don't know if you've ever been to one, but those things are awfully fun, especially when they're outside and during the summer and you got, legends playing for you. But anyway, we're going to get into the block party and maybe Major Key, and he might be able to shed a couple of personal experiences from those block parties in Uptown because I certainly can if he can't. But yeah, that's me doing my synopsis. Let me see who's in the building before I drop the link. Yeah, StreamYard. We got Jay ready. Yeah, thank you, bro. We got Lab, we got Q already. Tony Boswell, much respect, right back at you. Haplo, what's up? Maybe it'll be free smoke, maybe not. I can't tell, but it'll never be free smoke for sustained periods because I like constructive conversations that go places. Even though I do like a little bit of blood sport, I can't lie, but I do also like I like to have, yeah, I like the conversation amongst the debate, amongst the trash talk, amongst the roasting or mussing, however it works. And Haplo, I actually put a premium on something that you don't seem to value very much, and that is letting one person talk at a time. Jesus, I can't. Like one of my personal idiosyncrasies is like talking over people. I don't know if you've figured it out, but I don't really like it. Like you may think that I am rude, or maybe it's I lack self-awareness about like cutting people off. But really, if you're telling me I'm cutting you off, either for the most part, I will back off. Every now and again, I will press it just because I think the person is so far off the conversation that I'm just trying to refocus because they've misunderstood what I've said. And those are mostly me cutting people off or me just not understanding. But that's my perception of myself. You guys can have your perception of me as you like, and we'll see what like who's who over time in the playback game. But yeah, let me keep this going through. We got Mr. Lightning World, what's up? We got Alonso Amazing, yeah, what's up, man? We got Juice, Skills from New Orleans, what up, what up? You know, I know what it means to miss New Orleans. Chin, yeah, my Smoke family, Chin Smoke, what's up? D Jeff, wherever you are, sending you good vibes. Cypher, yeah, Coach of Cypher, I see you. I don't know shit. Let's see. We got Puto, what's happening? Yeah, Major Key, already said what's up. Chain, Cleo Sardo, what's happening with it? Just Do, what's up? Raider, Alonso, all right, cool. Now let me get into it. Sorry, hold up. Let me oh sorry, damn. Okay, cool. Hold up, people. Yeah, I'm what do you call it? I'm I'm the type of guy that can delight in the moment, but also, you know, be a little bit detached from it so that we can all make sure that we're finding and keeping our righteous minds, right? Amongst the most extreme circumstances where there's no maybe roadmap about how to deal with this sort of thing. And we're all adults here. We don't need our hands held. We don't need our feelings assuaged. I just, you know, I have a channel that I'm trying to at least manage and grow. So there's a terms of service that I've agreed to adhere to. And I do like to adhere to the norms of polite society as a personal preference. But, you know, that's from my own interpretation even then. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing off and rumbling towards that end. Everybody has their own way of getting through the day, getting through the right now, so we can have more tomorrows and countless yesterdays. So don't take this at all as any kind of this stream as any kind of sensationalizing the like I say, the extreme circumstances that people find themselves in because they are actually benefiting themselves and us by putting themselves in these extreme circumstances from the jump. And that is getting punched in the face for entertainment. Right? That by itself is already something that a lot of us are unable or unwilling to do. Most people, right? So, yeah, to those, to that end, let's see. Oh, there's Phantom. Oh yeah, Phantom, what you call long-winded. One day you might get your lungs up to capacity, your brain, and the amount of things that you may have to impart in order to uh, what is it? Give the accurate picture that you're trying to paint. Whether or not anybody else is able to actually interpret that, yeah, you too. The youth might call you at that point long-winded, but that's what right now is all about. You, me, everyone else experience this moment for posterity and possibly eternity, right? But I don't need to get that abstract on it. Yes, sir. Let's see. Major Key. Black and Brown. What's up, Poppy? Yeah, I hope you're still sucking up that newborn baby breath. There's nothing quite like it. That's the priceless shit in life. Let's see. And we got Method to the Madness in the building. Oh, he brought us straight. He's already out here trolling. He's militant, but he's also family. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, not Boxing Monster. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wow. Yeah, let me clip the fucking fingers together for Boxing Monster. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, you guys don't be shy and let me know if my sound is off, and we're gonna get into it. Right. The very first boxing family that I was introduced to, like as a fight fan, that was also an adult. Let me put that also spin on it. Was the Mayweathers. Right. It wasn't. I mean, I knew that kind of what was going on with uh with Oscar and his dad and Robert Garcia, but he's Roberto, like Robert Garcia and his dad, Chico Corrales and his dad. Kind of knew what was going on with that. Later on, kind of what was going on with Roy Jones as his dad, but like selling crack, getting shot in the leg, selling his mom crack, that kind of stuff, like that amount of family dysfunction, and going to jail for domestic violence, and what is it? Yeah, just the public feuds between father and son and all that other stuff. That was the Mayweathers that sort of sensitized me to that thing. That was my first shot at. What's up, Major Key? How you doing today?
I'm chilling, but I'm not really chilling. I'm dealing with a personal issue. But since you always complain that I don't click the link, I want to click the link. You know what I'm saying, and answer at least one of your questions, just to motivate the crowd that's sitting here, obviously watching, and hasn't clicked the link yet. So first and foremost, I think that you're absolutely right about when you're trying to paint a picture, when you're trying to articulate something, you need to use the right words, and that's where we struggle when we're looking for the right word to paint that picture, right? It's like looking for the right puzzle piece, right? So that's something that people need to understand when you're debating somebody like Get the Smoke, So I get that. The long-winded part though is probably because most of your fucking points are completely wrong. But then you gotta add more pieces to the puzzle. But I'll digress. That's between you and I. But as far as the boxing conversation, though, because I seriously am dealing with a little bit of a serious situation with my son today. So, I wanted to pop up at least in support. What question do you have that you want answered? What's puzzling you today?
Oh, I don't really have. I've had more declarative statements than questions today. Well, I mean, I have a question for you.
Sure.
With the making of Tank and Ryan Garcia, do you think that the narrative about PBC not working with outside entities will change?
I think it's a little too late. I think that they've already kind of. Are you a fan of Game of Thrones?
I kind of I bowed out with the new one, the dragon, the pus dude.
Yeah, no, the old one, the one that already finished.
Yeah. I'm up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you remember that Cersei didn't want to work with the other kingdoms, and that at the end they didn't trust to work with her at all. And their whole plan was to go demolish her afterwards, right? After they finished their business. The problem is that they have a long track record, and people have been trying to work with them and bending over backwards to do so. You know what I'm saying? And they always want it their way, right? And so I think that that hurt them in the long run, and that's going to be up to other people if they want to give them another chance. Because if the networks are not going to be dishing out the money to them like they were, then they're not going to this is what I've been trying to tell you for the longest one. I think that again, their stable's way too big to carry that amount of people and get consistent fights for these guys where it's worth their livelihoods. Fighters don't make that much, and the people that do make that much, you know what I'm saying, are top notch. So it's a lot of these guys that are sitting around waiting for a fight, and and then especially if they're getting stipends and allowances and shit like that, they want that income, they need that revenue, to sustain their lives. And so if they can't do it, they just need to be responsible, just like any other business. When they downsize, any other business downsizes when they make cuts when there's too much expenditures and not enough revenue. And part of that is the stealing of the streams and stuff like that. Part of it is just it was a bad business plan to begin with, and no one expected the pandemic. So all of these things all together, and also it's an American investment company. Well, it was. So they're less likely to reinvest into something that's not making them money. Like the Saudis. The Saudis do this for sport. They do this for a hobby. It's a different thing, So, and it's a worldwide thing as well. So, with that being said, I don't know. To answer your question, I don't really know that there is something that would entice these other companies to want to work with them now that they see that, hey, you know what? Okay, they're against the wall now. Now they want us to help. You see what I'm saying? It's like almost like, all right, you didn't want to help us before. We could have just worked together, but now you want me to help you. Nah, fuck you. I'm gonna let you just fall off the platform. If you get what I'm saying.
All right. So to stick with the Game of Thrones metaphor, Cersei lied.
You like that one? You like that one, huh? All right.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to, I'm trying to have a discourse, and this is the world we're living in. All right. So if this is the Game of Thrones metaphor, then Cersei backstabbed the people. They were totally willing to work with her, and then she backstabbed them. What we're talking about now is the fact that we have seen basically PBC work with everybody, and you're still liking them to Cersei. And what you are saying is that it doesn't matter what they do because they've already shown themselves to be a bad faith or disingenuous or dishonest. Right. But the issue is that nobody has come out and called him a backstabber. Right. So like the people that not only that, but this is in the shadow. If you understood the question, maybe you forgot the question. I think I know you understood it, but I think you might have forgotten it. Is they're working currently to make Tank and Ryan with DAZN. And you're saying that it doesn't matter that they're doing this fight. They're doing this fight together. Because of their brief history, because they're not even a decade old yet, and they've literally worked with everybody. But all of that is immaterial because of some track record that doesn't exist.
So that was the end right there. I can respond, right? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you got it. That's just the first part of it. That's the first part.
Yeah, no. To be specific to the Ryan Garcia, I mean, at this point, they both are going to gain revenue off of this fight. This is something that they will work with right now because you know what? It's something that it would probably take a little more time to generate that type of revenue with any other boxers in that division, right? Although there are other opportunities, but the hype was built around Ryan Garcia and Tank because of their speed and power. So the hype's been building up for a couple years now. So I think that they don't want to just leave that money on the table. Of course, PBC's willing to work with them now for that one because again, they need all the money that they can get. Because when the shit shuts down, it is what it is. The ship's already sunk. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So that's just my view. We all have the right to our opinions, but I believe that it's a little too. It's too little, too late. It's just it's just like when someone goes into cash out.
All right, I mean, listen, I can get between hasn't done enough to reverse the tide. The already like negative, the amount of and the the intensity of the negative sentiment. I can get behind that. Just to address the other parts of what you're saying, when it comes to just I don't know whether or not they are sustainable like business, right? Really, this idea of too big to fail doesn't exist unless it doesn't exist in the sport of boxing. So ultimately, I mean, Top Rank could go out of business. Like they all could go out of business. It's not like boxing is some thing that is going to be subsidized by some act of Congress or something. Like, and really, the PBC ultimately is a production company that puts on live sporting events. That's only to the extent that people are interested in live sporting events. That's one thing. And then the other thing is whether or not they're interested in boxing as a live sporting event. That's another thing. Not being outside of the cozy confines of ESPN, where it's where every sport lives. Even like, women's college softball, like that kind of shit, like where like competitive cheerleading, like even has its day. Yeah, boxing could live there also. I don't know that is the boxing that I've come to understand as boxing though. So this, I don't know. I feel like a lot of this, a lot of the negative sentiment around any of these organizations, not just PBC, but like whether or not you're pro Top Rank or anti Top Rank, or pro PBC or anti PBC, or pro Matchroom or anti Matchroom, or pro Pobellum or Sourlands, or you name the outfit, or anti those outfits. I think it's a shrinking market actually, and if you're a fight fan, then you're probably having like some really expensive thoughts and feelings when it comes to like, let's start 86ing some of them out. Or we're going to get some sort of addition through subtraction kind of calculus. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I think if you take any of those players out of the market's kind of fucking fucked.
Can I respond then?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So what I think the part I think you hit the nail on the head and you didn't even realize it. So you mentioned ESPN, the worldwide leader of sports, right? That's one thing. They're positioned better, right, for certain markets. So is DAZN, because DAZN is better positioned for global revenue. The thing is that PBC is pretty much from this country. It's a domestic thing. And their business model in itself, not working with other people to make it such a global, because let's be honest, in other countries, this is a big sport. You know, I don't know if you've researched it lately, but it's actually like second to soccer. Okay, around the world. All right. So, and that surprised me when I researched that because I thought baseball would be up there. I thought maybe, you know, basketball, but no, apparently it's soccer than boxing. And then here's the thing, you know, the fact that we're not getting the major fights that you know, where we're getting, you know, you can be charged a certain amount of for the premium, for the subscription for a full year, and not have to pay $80 a pop every month. Maybe, you know, twice a month, maybe, you know, every other month, whatever. But when you add that all up, it's way more expensive than that particular premium that you're paying, right? For one thing. And then for the other one, if you get to ESPN Plus and you're watching this stuff, and then maybe once in a while you get a real big fight that they charge you $80, maybe twice a year, bro, it's like you're pretty much banking more, and they're giving you more because, like you said, they're talking about different sports. So if you're a sports fanatic, you're gonna love that deal. You know, that's one of the reasons I think DAZN started trying to pick that up to try to grab more clientele with that. But at the end of the day, the PBC, their networks, the networks that they're dealing with, right? They have a different vision for the future. Their business model is not based on boxing. And that's the problem. They were thinking a little outdated. It was an antiquated way of thinking, but you can't blame them because some of the things were working at that time, and you could kind of you know, bet on it. So I wouldn't blame anybody that lost money investing in it. But at the end of the day, nobody anticipated COVID. Nobody anticipated that he's going to get that many people in a stable, you know, and not be able to you know, to sustain their you know, careers. A lot of people have been put on the shelf. There's people that I'm like still waiting to see fight. You know, I'm like, damn, bro, when are they gonna fight? And you know, with that, I digress, man. I came up. I hope somebody else clicks the link and, you know, enjoys the conversation with Smoke. But I did promise you I was gonna come on sooner or later, bro. Today's not really a good day for me to like keep on going at it.
Yeah, you know do what you want. Yeah, chill. I just have the bully pulpit to rebut all that dumb shit you just said. And without you being able to rebut. So I'm glad that nobody will be made stupider by the shit you just fucking said. That shit that comes out of your mouth. Yes, you've been staying spared by your actual life.
I was a customer service manager, bro. So you're not gonna hook me, bro. You can try all you want, but you're not gonna hook me, bro. Have a good night.
Yeah, okay, have a good one. Yeah. So like, while my man was fucking spewing nonsense, I was looking up the top 10 sports in the world. We have soccer, number 1. Number 2, where he said boxing was, it is a B sport, but guess what? It's what I thought. Basketball. Right after that, we have tennis, cricket, baseball, volleyball, golf, American football, table tennis, field hockey, rugby, badminton. Right under badminton, we get boxing. That's sources across the web, right? So fuck sources across the web. What else we got? We got realbuzz.com. Realbuzz, they say the top 10 ones. Oh, wait, that's in no particular order. But let me just explain to you that boxing doesn't crack the top 10. Not the top 5, certainly not number 2. So I don't know what in the hell sources my man Major Key is talking about, but it's probably why he has some sort of domestic fucking trouble at home. Like, what the hell he's got going on in his head does not fucking map onto reality. But all that being said, and like I said, my often expressed guilty pleasure for trolling that guy, that one specific guy. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it all the way to like Gully when it comes to that block party. I think it's going to be a great it's like, to me, what is it? It is this generation's version of a mini Oscar De La Hoya versus Sweet Pea. Right? It's just not, and it's just so sad that I have to actually even put it in those terms. because it's true and it's false on so many different ways, on so many different levels. But yeah, you get the East Coast versus Cali. You get the whole like the black or the African American versus the I mean what we call Chicano, but some people call it Mexican because they're not necessarily that well diverse in how we have this kind of stratification amongst our demographics here in America. We'll just call it Mexican versus black. Yeah, there's all these different kinds of levels to it, but like Tank is no sweet pea. He's a knockout artist. He's not really that slick of box. It's not. I think his boxing thing is underrated, but his boxing is underrated the way that Sweet Pea's punching is overrated. I even think that Sweet Pea's punches is actually a little bit better rated than actually Tank's boxing ability. But anyway, point being, the way that they fight is actually not the same. But anyway, there's if you squint really close or you don't look close enough, depending on your perspective, like you could get the analogy. But I'll say this. I'll say this. This fight for the generations, for the young generation that is coming up, that's going to be popping out their baby soon if they haven't already started, and you're going to be the next generation of fight fans across these social media platforms, consuming it, and whatever streaming platforms they may be in the future. It's Amazon or Hulu or Netflix or however the hell they'll consume the sport. After we don't give a good goddamn. After we're so caught up in the twist and turns of the sport that these people couldn't care less about because they're caught up in like, earning rent or trying to get a house payment or see the world or have somebody fall in love with them or whatever the hell it is the baby's got going on these days, that us people on the fun side of 50 who are fortunate enough to be and they're retired and just hang out with their hobby, which is boxing, while they're caught up with the vagaries of life. I think this is their version of that. Right, they'll be remembering this fight. I think like I'm gonna have a fight party, and I fully expect for my children and their friends to like pack the house. Right, I may be live with you guys trying to hide out in a room to talk boxing. So yeah, it's so I don't have to act like I'm friends with my kids' friends, because that's never the thing. That's never the move, really. Just so you guys might not know this, but yeah, if you can avoid that kind of situation, you'll probably be doing yourself a favor, both you, your children, and your children's friends. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on the block party for this 1 second, and I'm going to get back to the Springer-esque part of it, because of course that's what Mr. Sensational, Mr. fucking Gossip Rag himself, Jimmy, is all about, and he does that way better than I do. Yeah.
Absolute smart. I mean, I love that shit. I love the drama, the WBE, Jerry Springer. I mean, I still watch clips here and there, but yeah. I mean, sorry, I'm in and out of your show. So the last I saw you, were talking about sort of fathers in boxing. Bill Haney. I was actually surprised to see you and Major Key coming together, talking really well. I mean, that was like worlds collide. Peaceful, intelligent conversation. I mean, that's interesting.
Well, it's what I prefer. So when I have control of the whole fucking mute, I know how to shut the fuck up and let somebody else talk, even if they're full of shit and insulting me. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I mean, I think it's really cool, Smoke. That you do know, house party for, is that for the Ryan Tank fight, or was it that?
Yeah, no, that's the block party. That's not like, that's when sides of the street doesn't matter. They come together and party right in the middle. Every side of the street attends a block party.
Yep. I mean, if you're gonna party in America, the best place is probably California, right? Even though you guys get a lot of hate, don't you, from Texas and New York, from what I see online on the American panels. Cali does get a lot
Boxing
of hate.
Monster is classic. I can't believe. Shout out to D Jeff, wherever the fuck that guy is, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, goddamn Boxing Monster. As a matter of fact, I gotta find a wrench for this guy, and so he can block everybody and fuck up my channel. I have to, like, once I give this guy a goddamn. As a matter of fact, now. Well, now I almost have to. God damn. And this is no slight on you, Jimmy. It isn't. It's just that this fucking guy right here, man.
Is that
This is
that
like, but way before I said that you were like my favorite troll. This is the best troll on the internet. Like this dude right here, Boxing Monster. Yeah, I gotta get him in my life. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need some Boxing Monster right quick. Let me get this.
You know what, Small? I really appreciate, like, you know, I was digging what you're talking about, the family-run business, and you know, how everyone has to pitch in and do their role and sacrifice for the greater good. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. You know, I feel like generally as communities, we've lost that spirit. As you know, especially people that live in the Western world. The concept of families uniting and everyone sacrificing their fair share for the greater good. I don't think that exists anymore. You know, everyone wants to do their own thing. Everyone wants to be cool, and everyone wants to be hip and modern. Which it doesn't really leave that, you know, element for a family business, because family businesses are rough. You know, everyone has to sacrifice a lot, and the greater good is sometimes really difficult to reach.
Yeah. It's a. Hold on a second. Let me go. Let me get that guy in there. All right. It's fucking trolling ass fucking this dude. Goddamn this fuck. Yeah. All right. What's up, Knockout? What's up, Champ Ross? What's up, Marky Dan?
Hit
Yeah.
the like button.
Yeah, yeah. So there's family business. So when you see it work out well, right? So Roger and Floyd were really, you know, they picked up the slack where it came out. Grandma like held the glue together, but there was a lot of dysfunction there, right? You saw Sean Porter and Kenny Porter do a lot together, but it didn't end on the best note, right? You see Angel and Danny, they're still working. The people you don't really hear too much about, they never say anything about, is Papa and Loma, right? The Chenkos, right? They both got the same Lomachenko, but you know, it is what it is. You think they're two different guys, but yeah, that's one that you don't hear a whole lot about. I don't know why, for whatever reason, but they keep their thing under wraps to keep it going. But no matter if it's working well for you, you got the Brandon Lee and his thing. Yeah, I knew it. There you go. Whether it's working well or not working well, that shit is that is not easy.
I think with Lomachenko, he comes from a different environment. You know, I've met Russians before, and they come from a very old school mentality when it comes to family.
Yeah. Whereas over here, I don't want to say like there's a culture where disrespect is kind of normalized amongst youth, but you know, a lot of guys over here, like, they don't grow up with their fathers. But well, let me not even get into that, because we're talking about, you know, father-son relationships in boxing. A lot of that shit typically don't go well, simply because when your son becomes a man, you know, it's certain things you don't accept from your father anymore. Like, my father he used to, I ain't gonna go into that, but he used to say certain things to me just to push me, not just to be mean, but to push me. And when I got to a certain age, I wasn't fucking with that anymore. And that's what it is. A lot of these boxing sons, they just don't want to take the shit from their father anymore. You see it with Teofimo. I think Teofimo is maybe 1 or 2 fights away from leaving his dad. Because at some point, you got to grow as a man and just be out on your own.
Yeah. Now, I actually want to touch on something Smoke was saying earlier about Bill Haney. I feel like what Bill Haney was originally doing, promoting his son fights, I thought that was cool. That was working well. And I actually do like Bill Haney. I've spoken to him before. Class act, pulled himself out of the gutter and built himself a really good life for him and his son. Made his son a champion, a millionaire. So props to him. But I just feel like he should stop coming to YouTube and these channels because at this point, I feel like he's doing more harm than good.
Right. Not only that, we want to see Dev. We want to hear from Dev. We don't, you know what I'm saying? It's cool when we see Bill talking, but like, don't nobody really need to hear from him.
See, I like Bill, but Teofimo Sr., Robert Garcia, sorry, not Robert Garcia, Angel Garcia, for me, they're kind of annoying little pricks. I don't like them. But with Bill Haney, he'll come on, even though sometimes he does beat around the bush, but come on, we've got to be realistic. No one's going to come online and air out all their private business. Like, come on, we've got to be a bit realistic now, right? So when he dances around certain questions, I mean, look, that's a given. But my thing is this, that when he keeps coming to these panels and he's getting cussed out and disrespected, I don't like that shit, to be honest. I feel like he's an elderly gentleman. And, like, when he takes time out of his day and comes to panels and fans are calling him bitches and faggots, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, I feel kind of weird about that shit. I don't like seeing that.
I mean, it is what it is, man. If you come on certain people's panels, you got to accept what comes with it. I don't like it, but that's what it is.
Where do you stand on that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just, like I said, like the feud to me is between Bill and the YTBC. It's like some people, like he just started. Okay, when he started the Duck Tree, and it was cool, right? And he was on his way up and being, like trying to claw his way up, to the top of the mountain, but.
Yep.
And he got a lot of sympathy and some fans that way, and got like that was part of his his personality profile. But all those fighters have fan bases. So now that he has the belts and he has something that those fan bases want from him. Now the shoe's on the other foot. They're all like, now like we want to fight you, yada yada yada. Some of them don't even like they can make these fights. They don't need to talk shit in social media. That the fact that they're talking shit in social media is not compelling to me. It's not. It doesn't convince me in any way that they're really trying to make the fight, especially not in a timely fashion. But whatever. If they make the fights, they do. If they don't, it is what it is. But when it comes to like Devin's own PR, I think he's taking a hit from not just the accessibility of Bill Haney and what Marky Dan was talking about. People would like to hear from Dev more than they like to hear from Bill. It is the places that he's going, like the places that he's making himself accessible to. This is the kind of backlash you're going to get from those places.
Fair enough.
Right. So it's kind of like, and I think that's part of it. I think he knows that. I think he's making sure that Bill Haney seems to be a guy that he wants to be authentic, right? To the extent that he can be, and I think he's being that way. But I think that there's a you can wear out your welcome a little bit. Yeah, you need like pulling out more, letting Devin Haney talk more, maybe what's working for them is just fine. It's just kind of. For me, I'm watching the blood sport of it all from the Smokey Springer fucking aspect of it. I'm seeing how like basically Devin and Bill are getting dragged through the streets because these guys, fighters, their favorite fighters, are not doing shit.
See, this is my problem, Smoke. Right. So I was never the biggest Haney fan, but I'm almost forced in the position to defend him, right? Because he went to Australia, won all the belts, great. After that, after beating Kambosos twice, everyone knew the biggest fight. In that landscape, especially considering promotional issues and all that, was Lomachenko. There was all this hype. That fight is almost done, but the last minute, it's like, no, Shakur. I'm not saying I don't want the Shakur fight. I think that's a really good fight and it should happen. But like, you've got to be a bit more realistic, right? The Haney Lomachenko fight has been talked about for a couple of years now, and after he won the belts against Kambosos, a lot of people thought that Lomachenko is still the top contender in the division. And these guys do have history, so let's make a big fight, especially on ESPN on Top Rank, right? Lomachenko's ranked number 1 in the WBC and WBO, and he's a former, unified champion. So I thought that was, good storyline, good fight. With Shakur going from I want to be undisputed at 30, and that's the reason why he didn't trigger his mandatory super status champion belt, right? So 6 weeks later, I can't make weight. I'm the boogeyman at 35. Devin Haney, fight me right now. Devin Haney and Lomachenko have almost completed a deal to fight, something they've been working on for several months. So I feel like fans are a bit, I don't know, like, are they purposely being dumb because they don't like Haney and the fanboys of Tank Davis and Shakur, or are they just maybe they're just ignorant? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's part ignorance, but I think it is also a part where I think a lot of Tank fans and a lot of mainly Tank fans were just upset, with the whole situation with Devin Haney, basically saying that Tank was ducking him. And there's a lot of other fan bases which were just mad in general because, Bill Haney is, what's the word? Just so, I guess you could say he's loose with the duck term, with who he places that on, I guess, sometimes.
It's just like purposely antagonistic.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Teofimo Lopez, like that dude is.
But then he didn't have that type of energy with Shakur. And I could see why somebody would get upset about that.
But Shakur wasn't a major player at lightweight, though, at that particular time. He's only been a relevant factor for literally 2 months. And within those 2 months, Devin and Lomachenko are about to finalize a deal. So I feel like it is unfair, though, a little bit. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, though. I've never actually seen this before.
But that is true. That is true, though, Jimmy, because it's like Shakur was supposed to make weight. And, Shakur had his own plans, which was to become undisputed at 130. So that meant, like, Haney and Bill, they weren't even thinking about him. Like, that shit was not supposed to happen.
So the same fans that were supporting Haney when he was fighting Kambosos, like, yeah, get the belts, bring him back to USA, which he did, are the same ones that now calling him a cherry picker. His belts don't mean anything. Kambosos was a bomb. I'm not, hold on.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
This is a lot of moving parts here. Like, it was kind of going on. I feel like I've missed something because, like, it's just so weird how much the energy has changed and how dramatic and how toxic it's become. Like, I honestly feel like I've missed something here.
It's that. Well, so the thing is, like, people would like for their fighter to be in Devin Haney's position. And so it's just literally like the way boxing works is you talk a whole bunch of shit because you're trying to goad a guy into a fight because you think that goads him into a fight. But you're just trying to be antagonistic towards fan base. And it's part of building up the interest in a fight. But really, the issue with Shakur is nobody gives a shit about the guy who's about to fight. So those guys, it's a little bit more heated. It's a little bit more angry coming from them and all this like duck talk when the guy like literally was talking about being undisputed in his last fight at 130, but couldn't make weight.
Well, I mean, we seen Shakur go up there and wash, rinse, repeat. Hearn, Valdez, and Casego, right? So it's like he cleared that bitch completely out. I mean, we can talk about the possibility of him fighting.
What's up, man?
Garcia.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? Good evening. Good evening. Good morning. Wherever everybody's at, morning, afternoon, wherever y'all at. Salute to y'all. But I mean, Shakur in his respective division, 2-time champion, he cleared 130 out. Valdez is still one of the best, if not the best guys down in that division. I mean, and I think everybody would consistently agree to that, and now he's took on wanting to go to 35 to smash whoever's in his weight, and I think that's what boxing is about. I mean, we've seen this with Roberto Duran.
Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Before you go into a whole retrospect about something we're not even talking about. Like, nobody is talking about whether or not Shakur has earned a boxing fans' respect. What we're talking about is whether or not he has earned the position to call Devin Haney a duck for not fighting him in a fight in a fight that everybody understood was about to happen before Shakur was in the division. And not only that, what Shakur was talking about going into the Conceição fight was unification, becoming undisputed, not just being Oscar Valdez or Conceição, but becoming undisputed at 130. Because he couldn't make the weight anymore, that is why this guy moved up.
Can I address the Smoke? Let Ben Israel address the Smoke.
Hold on, Ben Israel. Hold on 1 second. See, I don't think Shakur has ever called Devin the Duck. Now I think that's more of a YouTube. That's more about other people's opinion. I don't think Shakur said it. I'm not saying it. I mean, the Loma fight, we know that's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, again, if Loma wasn't gonna fight Dev, he gonna have to fight Shakur. Either or, you gonna have to fight one of them dudes, right? Now, if after that, it's kind of like, it's whatever direction Dev is gonna go in. But in all reality, I think everyone will consensually agree that Shakur is one of the baddest, if not, he's rated higher than Dev. You see what I'm saying? Now at 35, Dev is the undisputed champ, but in boxing, Shakur is rated high.
Oh, let me address that, Smoke. Come on, Smoke. Let me address that.
You got it, bro. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome to the panel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the panel.
Shout out, man. Y'all hit that motherfucking like button. Y'all subscribe to the channel. We in the real motherfucking Smoke Den. Hey, Smoke. Hey, method. Come on, man. If you sit up here making excuses for your dude, let's address Shakur Stevens. Let me back it up. When you talking about this dude, this is what Smoke was telling y'all, that Shakur fucked up 2 belts. Let me address what was at stake before we go to the Devin Haney saga. The man fucked up 2 belts, though, Method. The WBO and the WBC. People telling you, Method, that Devin Haney is a weight bully. Oh, he can't make the weight, whatever it may be. But then you got Shakur down there at 130 saying he dedicated to the craft, all this shit, lying to you like Terrence Crawford was, and I ain't gonna move the goalpost. It's only by Shakur. And then he missed the fucking weight, bro. Because if you made weight and then beat that dude ass, he would have been, you wouldn't worry about Lomachenko. We would be talking about Shakur right now, Method. Right now, we would be talking about Devin Haney, undisputed champion, defending all those titles against Shakur Stevenson. But Shakur,
I hear that, right? But
when you gonna let me land my plane? Because I ain't gonna come
my
on.
My bad. Go ahead.
I got some hot shit. If Smoke says free smoke, I'll blast you, bro. But I ain't gonna do this on Smoke platform, bro. But if you want to talk, respond to that. But I'm gonna go home. But go ahead though, Method.
All right. So when Tank lost his belt due to missing weight, right?
No. We ain't talking about Tank losing his belt.
It ain't stopped nobody from wanting to fight him. All I'm saying, hold on. When Tank lost his belt, it ain't stopped nobody wanting to fight Tank. Nigga still got Tank name in their mouth. Oh, bobbity, this, that. He got a baby belt, but ain't stopping niggas from wanting to fight him. But we talking about another fighter, right? 2 division champ, aiming to be three division champ, but now all of a sudden it's, oh, he lost this and the third. I get the circumstance isn't great, right? But he's still a champ. You see what I'm saying? He's still one of the baddest in boxing. Now, I'm not saying what other people are saying that Dev is ducking him. He's fighting Lomachenko. Supposed to be fighting Lomachenko. We don't know when, where, or what's going to happen. But again, I think that's an excuse to say, well, because Shakur missed weight, that he should be off the radar. Like, no, that's when it sounds like some duck shit. It's excuses, right? Instead of niggas saying, well, whatever happened down there, but Shakur still whipped his ass. He moved on up. He fight Yoshino in his backyard. He gonna smash him. Who next? We seen Isaac Cruz ain't want no work. We seen Kevin Moses ain't want no work. So I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that was just addressing like the latest sort of way they're promoting the Devin and Shakur fight, which I don't necessarily have a a problem with. This whole idea of like, let's call a guy a duck and all this stuff. It's just, it's kind of low hanging fruit. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't, it seems ring hollow. If a guy's never even had a fight at 135, but all of a sudden he's supposed to be like in line for the championship when, like, even in his last weight division, dude had 4 fucking fights in that division. Like, it's just, it's kind of rich. That's all I'm saying. You got the Lomachenkos of the world, you have the Tanks of the world, like Shakur. Like, I get you, like, but pump those brakes. You are not the guy that's like the next in line. You might be the next in line at top rank after Lomachenko, but and you might even be a more exciting fight amongst a particular group of fans that know boxing, not just fanboys, but like really want to see that fight on some just on a purest level. I'm not mad at any of that stuff. I'm just saying, all things considered, like Loma's old and Shakur's young. Like, if you're gonna, if like all things being equal, you fight the fucking old dude because you can fight him now. Who knows how long he's gonna be around? And then you fight the young dude either next or fucking down the line, whatever. But that guy's 1 year older than you. You guys are the same fucking age, and you're both babies. Like, I don't even, like, as a person who's not like born last night, it's not even that even crucial to me. I don't know, whatever.
I don't think they babies now. I mean, two of the top guys. Well, 3. Well, we're going to put Loma in there. So the 4 top guys, we see Dev, Shakur, Loma, Tank. 3 of them guys is fathers. They ain't no damn babies, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm like granduncle. I don't have grandkids yet, but my both my brother's kids have grandkids. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is my only point is this: those guys have a lot of time to fight. Like, I don't even think they're at their optimal weight class yet.
Only issue I have when people say that is as if these guys, that's like saying it to the future. And only issue I take with that is if like it sounds like niggas pick and choose, right? And I'm like, I can name niggas that can scrape niggas, like, you know what I mean? Like where you defy the odds. I'm looking at the fights, right? So I'm like,
I think you're missing. I think you're missing the key point of what I'm saying. I'm saying Shakur versus Loma. I'm not saying like you fight Loma next and then you fight Shakur in 10 years. I'm saying you fight Loma now. You can fight Shakur next if Shakur wants that fucking smoke like that. But like literally, you can let Shakur establish himself a little bit more because nobody gives a fuck about featherweight and super featherweight, junior lightweight, like whatever the fuck it is. All these people are now but creaming their shorts over because of Shakur Stevenson. Like, that dude has been done. He's been doing that work in relative obscurity.
Well, I mean, the niggas don't really care about lightweight. Niggas just care about tanking around, bro. If we really want to get technical,
right there, yeah, that's my whole exactamundo. Exactamundo. That's why that is why Devin Haney is not about to, like, why the fuck would one obscure guy try to fight another obscure guy in a fight for purists when he could build more legacy and build his profile on a guy that has way more fucking heat than goddamn Shakur, and that's Lomachenko.
Yeah, I think lightweight is still a glamour division.
I don't mind the Lomachenko fight, but I just want to know who he's fighting next. Because if he stay at 135, it's got to be Shakur. That's all I know.
I know it does not have to be Shakur. I'm trying to tell you, whoever it is between Shakur and Tank, that other fan base will accuse him of duck if he doesn't stay.
Or Tank. Yeah, I don't. All reason I'm gonna focus on the Loma fight, right? With Dev, it's Loma is the focus. Dev went around, Team Handicap went around saying Loma was a duck, this, that, and the third. You know, they was putting niggas' heads with ducks on them and shit. And I'm like, Loma here now, bro. Like, all that duck shit look crazy. You know, so yeah, I mean, yeah, focus on Loma. You know what I mean? Because he ain't worried about the niggas deep out there chilling. He watching fights, staying sharp. You know what I mean? So yeah, he ain't playing around. You know what I mean? He ain't playing around in the game.
If the Lomachenko that fought Nagatani or the Lomachenko that fought Nicholas Walter shows up, That's a very long and difficult night for Devin Haney. That kind of speed, explosive speed, the angles, the slick, awkward style, the ring intelligence, the experience. I think that's a very difficult night for Devin Haney because Devin Haney's more of a conventional boxer. Uh, but if the Lomachenko that shows up before in his last fight, he looked old, slow, ring rusty. I mean, people are saying that the injuries are piling up. Yeah, Devin Haney's got the size, the youth, the momentum, and probably politics on his side at this stage to really shine, you know? But it's like Smoke was saying, look, Lomachenko is the only Hall of Famer right now in the division, right now. So if everyone retired, Lomachenko out of everyone would be the first one up for Hall of Fame, right? And guys like Shakur, who, I mean, let's be honest, not even in their mid-20s, right? They're going to be there for a very long time, you know? It's when I kept saying Tank should fight this guy and that guy, a lot of people would tell me, look, Jimmy Tank's young, you know? These fights are going to build up, so, okay. But the same guys are telling me that Tank doesn't have to fight Lomachenko straight away and that fight could build. Now I want to see Haney Shakur in about 6 minutes, you know? Like, so it's kind of funny how a lot of fans change their views on certain situations depending on who the fighter is.
I don't think that's what it is. I think fans want to see the best fighting the best, and niggas stop making it. That's the problem. See, for some niggas, they dumb, right? And I mean no disrespect to what I'm about to say. It's a lot of niggas with platforms and content that, like you were just kind of saying, like let's say, like hypothetically, let's say Bill goes to a low IQ channel, right? Where the host is dumb as shit, right? Can't spell equilibrium, right? Like this a dumb motherfucker, right? And then this dumb motherfucker, you get this dumb motherfucker the time of day, and you get what you put in. You see what I'm saying? You point to, I mean, you indulge with shit. You playing the shit. You know what I mean? So I mean that's kind of what happened. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's the fans want the best fight the best. But when you start playing this shit, this is what you get, especially on YouTube. You know what I mean? So I think it's best when you do want, especially these boxers and then promoters, whoever, you know, as far as in this boxing business, stay away from them dumbass motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And you won't be playing this shit. You know what I mean? Because then it's shit always, it's just you playing this shit. I mean, it's clear as cut as I can put it. If you playing this shit, you a nasty motherfucker, bro. You know what I mean? So that's clear cut, bro. It ain't too much to say to that. Ain't nobody, I don't think people switching up. I just think fans want to see the best fighting the best. And the problem is that boxing is a sport where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2.
What's good, Q?
God
Q in the house.
You work at boxing, huh? Okay.
Man, what's popping, man?
You know what they say.
You're the god.
Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. But I'll tell you what, men and women lie about numbers. What's up, Q?
Man, what's good, Smoke? Man, what's good with it, Mel? Jim, what's popping with y'all boys, man? How my bros doing today, man?
Thank bless.
We're gonna talk about some more. We actually had some boxing news that moved the needle. So, you know, here I am during the day, like, you know, when life is encroaching, talking about some boxing. They're still trying to have a 420 sesh.
Hey, give me some news and reviews I could use then, man. What's going on? I just caught like the last 5-10 minutes of the dialogue.
Well, I mean, really, like, so nothing like a guy like you would be like, this is already broken news. But I haven't necessarily chopped it up with my, you know, with our unique perspective that we have over here, even though you might have a, you know, perspective that you share with other people in other places. It's not really, it hasn't been synthesized here. So for me, man, it really, this whole Donaire thing really kind of like, on a couple of different levels and a couple of different ways, like touched me personally, right? But also just like as a YTBC member, but like my own like sort of unique experience, or not, I don't even know if it's a unique experience, but my experience in life that I think can relate to what they're going through, like a little on some kind of level, but just not as public. Like I don't have, like you guys haven't seen my fucking kids or my parents or none of that shit. You have absolutely no idea what my relationship is like with people, and I don't know that I'm trying to like adjudicate that shit with you, fucking monkey. Like, you know, and let's say monkeys in an affectionate way. Like I consider myself one of these monkeys, not like I'm trying to belittle you in any kind of way. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm talking about motherfuckers that just fling shit everywhere. That's what I mean by monkey. Like, motherfuckers have the second fucking thought about throwing some shit at a person. Like that's all I'm saying.
It's ignorant motherfuckers.
Yeah, but beyond that, that's what this forum is for. That like this is our therapy in order to like find out the fucking minutia and the data that's available to everybody and put our own unique spin on that shit. And it might be flinging some crap at somebody, and hey, if it hits you, it hits you. You should have ducked. You shouldn't have been standing there, right? I'm just saying. But it did touch me, but it also sort of crystallized something else in how we a lot of times we really don't appreciate the sacrifice of the team when it comes to these fighters that we like. And sometimes this team is your actual family members, and the stress that put and the strain that puts on those relationships like long term. It's just like bananas. Like I was looking at that thing, it made me think of like, you know, when you have a job that needs you have a job that needs filled in your organization, but you're hiring from within your family. Like that shit right there is fucking bananas.
So what's going on with? I guess what's going on with him? I guess.
Well. Oh, I'm sorry. Like so, right. So, I don't like. I'm not following the twists and turns of it. But I saw Rachel breaking down and crying a bunch. I saw Nonito and his dad going through the whole thing. I've seen Teofimo Lopez and it talk about his getting a divorce and his wife's a gold digger and his dad needs to do a thing. I've heard like Devin Haney is a whole bitch out here fucking ducking. I'm just seeing all of this like crazy ass shit between these families that are just like what it takes to be like a boxing family. Like I'm like, wow, these are like that's your dad, but that's also like the PR guy. Like, is he the right PR guy? Like Teofimo Senior, that's your dad. Is he the right trainer for you right now? Like, you know, like that, like all of this shit, and this is what you need. That in order to be successful, you need a corner that you can rely on, that you trust, that you like, you know, that you have that thing. But like, do they have the expertise? Are they the right? Like, you know,
damn, that's the word. Expertise.
And as fans, we're sitting there like, all we see is the guy taking the punches and who's winning the fight, and we break it down that way, and maybe even it goes a different layer, like the quality of opposition of all that stuff. But we don't really. I don't think we pay enough attention to all of those people that it took to get that fighter ready for those moments.
So you're saying there's a lot of people that lack coof right now. Sophistication, goddamn it, it's unsophisticated.
Well, no, it's just about what it's really more what it takes to be authentic and to cut through the fucking airways and what it takes to be great.
Well, you're not about to see that. A lot of niggas, I mean, you got to think we live in a troll era. We live in motherfuckers. They always trying to imitate the next motherfucking man and do it. Listen, niggas always want to be like, I want to be life, Lord. I mean, we don't live in niggas that authentic. I don't think it's going to take a minute. Again, I think until we get a bad motherfucking American badass in boxing, like a nigga just be like, man, like they hold you to some shit, whip your ass, and then whip the next nigga ass. They might get some bumps and bruises, but I ain't somebody being authentic. That's tough.
I think Boots got a good chance.
Nah,
I like Boots, man. He's good. He's a good.
The reason why is like this day and age, like that's not how it is. Like it's so easy to go from loving somebody to hating somebody. Like, and you brought up Boots. This not even like this just in the ring. Oh, they thought he was the shit. That last fight, oh, this nigga ain't shit. but you gotta think of the stuff outside of the ring that could turn somebody like, oh, nah, he did this. Oh, what? Nah, they don't like him. Oh, we need to cancel him. You know what I mean? You know how it is in this PC ass world we live in. You know what I mean? So you can't
You gotta be like Dave
badass. You know what I mean?
You gotta be Dave.
But you can't be Dave Chappelle because comedians is the only people that can get away with doing shit like that. Can tell you some real ass shit straight up and get away with it because they comedians. You funny. You know what I mean? Like,
nah.
Dave walked the lane of his own. That nigga.
Yeah.
A lot of niggas that got canceled.
Them niggas, they told Dave Chappelle if he turned down that $50 million, they were gonna tell everybody he was a crackhead. And them niggas actually went with that shit.
Now I don't know what type of info you get over there in the islands, my nigga, but somebody a threat like, oh man, you gonna take this 50 million or we gonna call you a crackhead, bro? Come on, man. That don't need what?
That's what Dave Chappelle said out of his own mouth. He was talking about it on Oprah. He was talking about what I ain't listen. I'm not even going to go into all that shit. They was talking about Hollywood, but yeah.
I don't know, man, but only reason I say Dave Chappelle, bro, he's a comedian, bro. I ain't gonna
nigga, no. Dave Chappelle is in his own lane.
Oh my god!
Like, you gotta be authentic to be. That's what Dave Chappelle shows authentic. What he's saying, he mean it, and he like no other comedian can do that shit. Yeah, you know what I mean, we done seen Kevin Hart fall from grace. We done seen Eddie Murphy fall from grace. All them niggas. Dave Chappelle.
Shit,
he's
Cat Williams.
Like, ain't no cat with that nigga.
Nah, that nigga. I don't know what you mean. Like still popping. Eddie Murphy ain't fell from shit.
Shit.
I saw Cat Williams get whooped by a 7th grader. That nigga fall from grace far.
I remember when he got caught with that when he got caught with that. He got caught with that sex worker. That guy. I remember that quite.
Oh man.
But he did come back. But he came back in Rasputia. Yeah, they put a black guy in a dress.
Niggas fell from grace, man.
That's another thing they be saying, man. They be trying to put these black men in dress. That's what Debo said. That's why you never see Debo in another movie. They tried to put that nigga in a dress.
Respectfully, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
I mean, I don't know, bro, but
hey. It take a lot to be authentic. Niggas will blackball you.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, in this day and age with social media, Boston living on this thing, like, these guys, like, this shit is fucking real on this set. Like, what the donaires are going through is a different thing.
Yeah.
What's happening with the donaires?
Because that's like an internal thing. I don't know. Like, from the outside looking in, and this is just my own thing. It looks like Senior has a different recollection and a different perspective about what the hell's gone on in this relationship, and his thing is not necessarily comporting to the facts. And maybe he could be like just one of those old dudes. I don't know. He might be losing his memory. Maybe it's malicious. I don't fucking know. That's just on the outside looking in. It just seems very like the thing that it makes me think of is what happens to you when you get old, and like what is your family supposed to do, and what's the next generation supposed to do about your fucking old ass. I
don't know how many kids Senior has, but that seems something that his kids need to figure out. That's a matter that his children and wife, whomever, right? They all sit down. If it is,
they need to get him.
If he is the one that fault, right? That's something that his bloodline should figure out.
Yeah, man. I remember when my parents' generation was trying to get the keys out of my grandmother. Like, she just wanted to drive and shit. She's like 80 years old, trying to still do that shit. Like, I don't know how the hell you tell these old people.
Yeah, they need to stop that shit, dog. I was going to work one morning, bro. I seen an old lady with a fucking breathing machine, and she had that bitch, the can of with the air and shit in the passenger seat. I'm like, bro, she shouldn't be able to drive, bro. What Like, what if something
She
happened to
could
her while
faint.
she exactly, my nigga? Like, how she driving? How she operating the vehicle right now, bro? That was crazy. I'm like, yeah,
No, I think at a certain age they need to take your license. That's what it has to be. Like
Listen,
maybe 70, 75. Man, you can't be on it.
my grandfather was in World War II and lost his eyes in World War II. Still came back and was like, I'm even gonna go through the shit that my grandparents were. You try to tell him some shit from the kids? What? You try to take my grandma's keys from her? What the hell? There's a meeting. There's several meetings about that shit. That was not just an easy conversation. They had to finesse that shit over months. I'm just saying, like it's my own personal experience. I feel for him. That's not even a family business. That's just like trying to keep people safe and all that shit. But
That's just life shit. That's just hard shit you gotta deal with at some point.
This is just the shit, man. This is what it is. That's the thing that I relate to when I'm looking at what's going on. It's just kind of like what happens when the kids become the adults, right? Like how do you make that transition where like the old people are starting to act like they need to be taken care of?
Well, I think that kind of goes back to what you said earlier. I mean, generally, right, in the family hierarchy, right, the father gets old, the son takes on, he steps up to like a king in a sense, right? You get what I'm saying? Like he steps up to that role and he takes on that responsibility. But in boxing, right, I think that's one of the key things of boxing, like how much Tio. Yeah, I mean, so when the father is a trainer, it's like you always in the damn man. We talk about these guys are men. Boxing is a sport for men. There ain't no boys in boxing. You get what I'm saying? So that's a confliction. You get what I'm saying? So when the father's always behind that wheel, you see what I'm saying? That could be a detriment. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be one of the causes. We saw that with Roy Jones.
Yeah, that's just
what Roy Jones and his dad. Like,
like after Roy Jones like beat John Ruiz, he was talking about going up there and fighting the goddamn he's talking about fighting Mike Tyson, and his dad like they've buried that hatchet. I think something happened between a dog, like one of his favorite dogs. His dad like killed it or some shit, but it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. The dad was just like basically tortured him to make him Roy Jones, right? As a matter of fact, my homeboy is Roy Jones Sr. is kind of on some other shit, but because Roy Jones Sr. was also a boxer, but yeah, that whole shit that thing that gets passed down from generation to generation, and yeah, that propping up on a person and they get all that notoriety, man, that's got to also be a crazy thing. Like what? Like I can't imagine if my kid in the family business that I taught him, like, just took that shit global, became like a superstar off the shit that I told him. Like I don't know, man. That'd be some weird shit to like kind of imagine.
Then you got the sad stories like Josue Vargas, like that father when he saw his son on the canvas. Then he got up and was wobbling, like you could see it. Like he was it was so sad because you could tell he was living through his son, and that was like he got his ass whooped in there, man. Real talk.
I mean, but that's what's crazy about that. So he never saw his son tested. That's what's weird. That's the weird part about that. So I was the Tank and them having a conversation in the gym. At least Setback recording. They was speaking on how shit happened in the gym, right? Yeah, I mean, and that come with boxing. Yeah, I mean, you might get knocked the fuck out. Yeah, I mean, the tears and shit. I think that's again when you living vicariously through your kids. Yeah, I mean, I think that's another problem is going on with boxing. There's another reason why we don't see a lot of authentic. What's the word? Authenticity. Authentic. I can't say the word, but we don't see a lot of authenticity. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We don't see a lot of authenticity, right, with the fighters because we don't know who the fuck we looking at, who we talking to. You see what I'm saying? That don't sound like because again we human beings, right? At the end of the day, we go outside, we interact with people, we kick it. You know what I mean? So then when they get on the camera, when they talking, we be like, that ain't this nigga talking. It's somebody else. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. I think they're all being authentic. It's just like, wow, this is like a really, some of that shit gets really uncomfortable. Like I said, like with the donaires, there's part of that stuff, part of this conversation is super uncomfortable. Part of fucking what goes on with Tio, super uncomfortable. Going into the fucking going into the Loma fight, him breaking down and crying and all that shit. I switched my pick. I was like, I thought Tio was gonna beat it. I thought Tio could do it, and then I was like, man, there's too much pressure on this young man. He's got to carry the promotion because Loma can't fucking. His personality is like watching paint dry, and goddamn, he got to deal with a new wife and his dad and all this other shit. Like, he just wants a dad. Sometimes he just wants a father, not a goddamn manager. I don't know, man. But yeah, all of that stuff is like, as a fight fan, I'm like, I'm sifting through my own emotions about how to fucking consume this shit.
But you make it sound like Teofimo's a star.
I mean, but that's not regular. Like, that's not regular to y'all though. I feel like that's that's real life shit. Like, like that Tio go through with any of these boxers. You know what I mean? With Nonito, like that's all real regular shit that, you know what I mean, people do now, and people still go about and do their job or whatever. Some people don't. Like I was talking to, some people at the barbershop today, and I'm like, and I tell them like how I am in the shop is not like how I am at the house. You know what I mean? When I'm at the shop, you know what I mean, I'm a barber, you know what I mean? I talk more, all that shit. When I'm at the crib, nigga, I'm a husband, I'm a father, you know what I mean? It's different. They like, so you not being yourself while you up here? I'm like, yeah, but if I am who I am at the crib, y'all not necessarily gonna like that shit at the barbershop because that's not the same person. You know what I mean? So when you looking at boxers, and a lot of the shit with them is getting to know them, you know what I mean, knowing who the boxer is, so you can be more attached and buy their shit and stuff like that. Those are things that you're gonna see. You're gonna find out that they everyday people just like you are. They go through some of the same shit you do. You know what I mean?
I got a question there, right? This was Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, whom they were off the screen and just 24/7. Would y'all say that? Did y'all say they were always the same person?
No.
Nah.
I wouldn't say Mike Tyson, at least in the early part of Mike's career when he was doing those 24/7s, that was not the same person you'd see off the camera. Because on the camera, he was trying to portray himself like yes, he's a tough fighter, but he's this nice guy and all of this. But we know what he was doing outside the ring.
I don't know. I mean, if you at Muhammad Ali, bro, I don't know. I think you got a little bit of everything, bro. Like, everybody got layers. Like, even with Muhammad Ali, you got a lot of different shit. You got a charismatic dude. You got, you know what I mean, a fighter, shit talker. But you also got shit of Muhammad Ali sitting down talking very intellectual, you know what I mean, about socials and all of this shit, you know what I mean. But then he also like women, and he, and stuff like that. So it's so many layers to people. I mean, I guess when you got a camera and when the camera around, there's certain shit that you try to, the celebrity is, and with now it's hard to do that because everybody got a phone, everybody got a camera. It's hard to, show people what you want. Back in the day, you showed them what you wanted. You only want to see the nice shit. Only way they was gonna know Mike Tyson was all that shit he was from a story or actually seeing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, or even with like rappers and shit like that, like you only knew who they was through their music and they damn video. You ain't get to see they ain't have no Instagram where you seeing what they do every day and you know what outfit and all this other shit. Like, we know that shit now, But back then, it wasn't none of that. So now it's like, I think now it's like people trying to find out what is it that people want to know. What is it? What part of the life that people want to get into? But the thing is, we don't fucking know till we see it. Like shit, I don't know what I like about the nigga till I see it. Like, oh shit, it's crazy. I mean, and they gotta.
All right. I'm gonna use Subriel Matias then, right? I think everybody up here fuck with Subriel Matias. Maybe not Mark. That's a Ponce guy, but we saw him go out in the ring.
Nah, I fuck with him. I fuck with him. I give him credit.
Right. And you started fucking with him because of how he whipped that nigga ass, right? Yeah, I mean, and I don't follow him on social media.
Yeah.
Inside the ring, he beat the nigga ass and he hit his dance. You know what I mean, somebody seen T.O. do, he'd beat somebody's ass, hit a dance. I think the problem comes in when guys begin to compare and do that non-authentic shit. You know what I mean? Like nigga hide behind something. You know what I mean? All that weird shit. But Matias, I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? I ain't see that. I saw a cold-blooded killer out there. Fucks with him. You know what I mean? Want to see him be undisputed. I think T.O. was, at least T.O. again, he was that. And then he started being some other shit. You know what I mean? I don't think that was authentic. I think he stepped outside of his lane and became a clone out there, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And it was another shit that we didn't all sing. When the motherfucker not being himself, get outside that body, niggas start taking some crazy L's inside the ring and outside the
ring. But Matias, bro, this nigga, bro, they talked about his story a little bit on the Showtime shit, bro. Subriel Matias been shot twice, bro. And that nigga went to the federal prison for drug trafficking 19 months, bro. And now he a boxer, knockout artist.
Right. He in his body. He know. I'm saying that kind of what I'm saying. Like
you heard my fucking the track I played for him in honor. Soul Survivor. If you're looking for me, you can find me on the block disobeying the law, baby.
Facts. So Subriel Matias is him. That's what we want. Somebody. I ain't gonna say that's what we want, but people with those type of backgrounds usually make for some damn good fighters.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because when they back against the wall, they're not gonna fold.
I mean, they might fold, but it takes a hell of a lot, man. You better pack a lunch.
Shit, they was probably trying to throw some years at him for trafficking drugs, though. And I'm guessing he didn't fold. I mean, 19 months. I don't know, nigga.
Puerto Rican federal prison, man.
No, but I'm saying what? No, I'm not trying to throw anything on him.
Oh no, I was just saying like shit. He did a long time shit. I mean, shit. Anything more than a couple of days is a long time to me, nigga.
Yeah, shit.
Nigga, anything there is a long time to me, nigga. I ain't trying to go.
Goddamn time. I'm not trying to. Goddamn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, man, I've been arrested 3 times. I spent exactly 1 week total of all 3 arrests, and each one of those motherfucking arrests was too much arrest. Too much fucking time and too much arrest. I'd never want that shit to happen to me ever again.
Your baby mama put an abandonment charge on you, Smoke?
Hell no, man. I used to go out and try to fucking socialize with people. And you leave your house, you're taking all kinds of risks. This is why old people stay the fuck at home, because they already been outside enough. God damn. Anyway. That's a different thing. Go ahead. Like, you guys cook on this shit before we start talking about this block party between fucking Tank and Ryan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. But as far as the family shit, man, I think you just gotta be able to show the people what you want and not show the people what you don't want. It's just like it's just having that ultimate control over what's seen and what's not seen. When it comes to some of these celebrities, you got celebrities, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? The LeBron James. You know what I mean? You only see what he wants you to see, and what you don't want to see, he don't want you to see. You're not gonna see. People got to have more control about what's in their environment. Everything got to be controlled. If you go in there, it better be a controlled environment to you know what I mean, to the shit that's gonna be able to get put out there about you. You know what I mean, the cameras that's coming in and all that shit. You know, and you got to be able to do that shit right. You got to be able to promote yourself right. If you're gonna do all of that, you know what I mean. If you only gonna give people a certain amount of access to you, then what you give them on your behalf better be good, and what you give to the media, the interviews and stuff like that need to be good. Answer all the questions, or as in some ways, should still be mysterious. Not give motherfuckers everything. You got to leave people wondering, like, damn, well, how is he really? You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, family, all that, bro, it's just balance. And I mean, shit, that's something that they gotta find. They gotta find themselves. That ain't nothing like that you gonna be able to get from a motherfucker like me talking on YouTube telling you about how it needs to go. Shit, your life is your life. That's how I feel about the boxing family shit. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. In the world of controlled, and that's the thing. I think that's the sort of spectrum that we find ourselves in as content consumers. It's either you let those moments where maybe you're at your most vulnerable, where you're not necessarily controlling the message, and that's your authentic self, versus this this packaged version of yourself that is only that you only want that's only consumable as a product that you offer to them, right? And I guess both things are really consumable products, right? It's just kind of like what one just seems more manufactured than the other. And I don't know. I guess there's pros and cons to both things. Yep. As long as it's whether or not you can handle that shit. It seems like the packaged version though seems to be more lucrative than just being out there showing showing yourself in your weakest moments. That doesn't seem to be like that kind of works if you already had the package if already have a packaged version of yourself.
Yeah, if that's what people are, if you already got the eyes on you and that's what they care about. Oh, they care. Oh, so and so just spit on the ground or some shit like that.
Yeah, like Beyonce's sister just kicked Jay-Z in the elevator.
Yeah, like
shit, TMZ type shit. Right.
Yeah, but
the shade room type shit.
but that's what it becomes once you reach that type of shit. Like that's damn near how it is every time you see Ryan. You see him out in public. Oh, that shit damn near like TMZ in some sort of ways with Tank or but like you like when you like that, bro, it needs to be controlled. You don't need to be getting caught seeing at a boxing table stuffing your fucking face because you drunk and shit like that. Like, and they interviewing you and shit like that. Like, nah, you don't. That's not what needs to be caught on camera. What needs to be seen on camera, if they see you, oh shit, you just out and about chilling. You ain't doing interviews and they ain't even gonna be able to get that on camera. As soon as they walking up, you got security. Nah, we ain't even doing that, my nigga. Record from back there. And that's why you gonna see, oh man, so and so walking from here to here. You know what I mean? They ain't doing that. When they want to do interviews, they gonna let you know. Oh yeah, come down here. I got some hot shit for you. You know what I mean?
So you saying we won't like Kanye West?
Well, I mean, but we've also seen how that didn't necessarily work out for AJ. Like if the burdens of that like manufactured public persona, sometimes your personality just creeps through because the shit don't match up. It's so different. You can't do that shit 24/7. And especially when it comes to boxing, where the truth is revealed in the ring, those dudes are fucking half naked, taking punches. They're going through the whole gamut of fucking emotions through like why that shit's happening. Like it's just, I don't know. Like boxing is a little bit different, and
boxing you always gonna be vulnerable. Whether they catch you after your loss, they catching you while you in the middle of a weight cut, hungry as shit, going through some bullshit. Whether you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Boxing
yeah.
vulnerable so many different ways, like especially when you like fight, like getting ready to fight or after a fight, bro.
Man, like Daniel Cormier, we were just talking about like this whole thing about like alpha males and all this shit and crying. Like, man, like I'm one of those guys, man, that I'm like, I don't
Like
know.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, like I'm not a person that particularly cries. Like I can maybe squeeze out a couple depending on like a scene in a movie kind of shit, but like I'm not a big crier. But I don't think that there's a problem with crying. Like I think that people stigmatize crying as some bullshit. But like, yeah, I can't lie. I let out a couple chuckles at that Daniel Cormier shit. But there's also kind of circumstances. But these fighters, man, they put it all on the line. And I've been there. Like, okay, so I've been there at a huge fucking moment in my life that didn't work out. And yeah, like in front of some people, I broke down. That shit. And that sticks with you, those moments. I didn't have a fucking camera in my face. And if I didn't tell you guys about it, you wouldn't fucking know about it, right? This is kind of like, and I didn't give any details. There's only like 4 people in the fucking room. So like really, but can you imagine putting that, like being like having that shit be televised? Yeah. And that's like the moment that people remember you for. I don't even know what year that was, but I know that shit wasn't in the 2020s. I know it wasn't then. That shit was hella long ago. And I still remember that shit. Like, yeah, John Jones, who's fighting this weekend, by the way, coming back, told him he was going to get like the whole trash talking up before the fight. He wound up knocking him out with that same kick he was talking shit about. And then that, yeah, man, that had to fucking suck to be Daniel Cormier in that moment.
Yeah, man. Crying. Man. These boxers, man, I don't know, bro. At the end of the day, man, it's fucked up out here, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean, that's boxing, MMA. I like John Jones. I rarely talk about the MMA, but I like John Jones. So it's kind of in the vein of it. But let's talk about this fucking unprecedented and finally $1 billion plus. Like, how many billions have we heard the zone fucking pouring into the U.S. market? 3 billion so far, maybe $3 or $4 billion. Finally, they get an American broadcaster to fucking bite. We got Ryan and Tank. No, they're not crossing the street. They combining the streets to fucking make a fight. Like, what's up with it? How you guys are taking this news? Okay, are you pinching yourself? Do you think that it's actually going to happen and somebody with a broken hand, or you believe it when they climb between the ropes?
What do I believe? The fight is really going down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe
you think it's going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, unless, somebody, get hurt. But if ain't nobody getting hurt, bro, that shit is going down, bro. And that right there, bro, it just let me know how fragile the boxing is, man. This shit is crazy. Like, people don't believe it. This, like, even though ain't shit on the line with this fight, that's how big it is, bro. People like, this shit cannot happen. It's not happening. It's not happening. They announced it. Nah, it's not happening. This shit it's too good to be true. That's how it's feeling right now. Ain't that what you just said, Smoke, earlier? How the old school used to say, hey, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. That's how they feel right now. I think it's true, bro. I done heard both of them say it, bro. They want that shit bad, bro. I believed them. A lot of people don't believe them, man. They don't believe Ryan. He a goddamn liar, a duck, all that shit. They don't believe Tank. He hiding in PC, all that shit. He don't want to fight, whatever. Man, that shit going down. I believed it when I heard both of them say it, bro. Like, Tank said it was going down. Ryan said he wanted it, and he was going to do whatever to get it, man. Oscar De La Hoya pressed for it. People say Oscar didn't want it. Oscar don't, man. They paid for this shit, bro. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, bro. What the hell this nigga Meth laughing at?
Yo, the picture. The picture I put up, nigga, that shit funny as shit.
Oh, look, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure the fight go happen.
that's right after he knocked out Luke Campbell. Oh God, hey yo,
The fight go happen because of some shit like this.
he was crying and shit.
That nigga,
Hey,
nigga do that. That nigga bad. That nigga.
Hey, look, Goosen ain't picking him up like that though. That shit dead. Not on Goosen blue jean jacket. You got him fucked up.
A nigga like that, shorty, he gonna get in the ring, shorty.
Hey, Smoke, not on. Hey, for damn sure, not on this denim, man. Not on Joe Goosen denim. You got him fucked up.
That nigga don't give a fuck, nigga. That nigga said, "Catch me."
Oh, Lee, he was crying and shit. That was crazy.
Hey,
Man.
yo, that shit funny. Yeah, for sure. That nigga, he get behind the camera. That nigga's a nut for sure. Yeah, for sure. I believe it's gonna happen.
Shit, I knew that shit was gonna happen. Yeah. Well, I'll put it like this: I knew it was gonna happen for sure when Tank they uploaded that shit on the Ross channel. When they did that, I knew it was real. I'm like, they not Calvin and them, not just and Tank said it. It wasn't like Coach Calvin and them. Like, no, Tank was in the gym running a fucking circuit, like he getting ready for a fight, and he said that shit going down. Like, so I knew it. Like when I seen it, I'm like, oh shit, they fight. And I didn't hear nobody talking about it. So I'm like, damn, people really don't believe it. Like people really did not believe that shit. A lot of people still don't, bro. It's crazy. I mean, if it's really, I don't know, bro. I'll say it like this, bro. If they doing it just to build their name and it's not real, then boxing is dead. I will come out and say that shit is dead if what they doing is just clout chasing. But yeah, I think they really fighting that shit going down.
Yeah, I think it happens. I think it. I think it's been long enough. I think the pandemic beat both of their fucking egos out of them. I think there's no real champions. There's no real fight. Like both of these guys have nowhere to go. This is, I think this is a telltale sign about where boxing really is when it comes to distribution. Yeah, and also just the moment that we're having, and how we're still living in the Floyd era. Like this is, Floyd created the circus fights, and we're still enjoying them to a certain extent. This fight, as you point out, has absolutely nothing on it outside of the lure that boxing's always had before there's such thing as sanctioning bodies. Like, who's gonna win this goddamn fight? Mm-hmm. Like, that's it.
It ain't gonna be this guy. This guy not winning the fight. He going to sleep. He going to take a nap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any intrigue in the fucking fight. This is not getting me out of Vegas. I'm gonna watch this shit from the cozy confines, my lazy lap of luxury, right there on my fucking couch, chilling the fuck out.
Yep, and they still got to sell me on the undercard.
Yeah, this is not. I was talking about going to Vegas for Spence and Crawford. I ain't talking about going to Vegas for this shit. Vegas is 5 hours from my house.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar mentality as Smoke. Just
is that drive or flight?
That's what you know. How you describe watching boxing at home with your massive TV with food and on your big sofa with the heating on. I mean, eating pizza, smoking weed, or you could be stuck in Vegas in the rain, getting trying to catch a cab to the fight.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by a bunch of fucking strangers or surrounded by loved ones doing what the fuck I want to do.
Facts. The $85 for sure gonna beat that $800 I'm gonna have to pay.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Only thing I'm waiting for that big fight in San Antonio that's gonna set that San Antonio gonna get, man. Shoot. I hope we get something, bro. Bam, matter of fact, Bam fight down here, but man, I ain't really tripping off that. I might.
Now you got Virgil. You got Virgil and Stanionis there, don't you?
Yeah, that's in Dallas. I know I'm not going down there for that fight.
How far is that?
For me, that shit like 5 hours.
Fucking hell, man! You guys are in the same state as well.
Yeah. Shit like 4 hours
I
away.
could
4 hours.
I could drive from Manchester to London. Well, from London to Manchester in about 6. It's crazy, man.
That shit.
People that live in Canada,
it takes
Australia.
it takes
Go
6
to.
hours to get out of Texas. Where from San Antonio.
Yeah, Texas is the largest state by landmass, and California is the largest state by population. But Nevada is just like the next state over.
No, I thought Alaska the biggest.
Well, I guess contiguous United States. I say
Okay,
that.
yeah, for sure. Like, in the shit that's connected.
You know, with the amount of money Vegas makes, do you think Nevada would have a bigger population? I mean, it's pretty small.
Desert.
Yeah.
You still gotta build on the land and shit. People actually gotta live there and all that. I don't really care. No. I ain't never been, so I can't speak on it.
I would like to go one day, to Las Vegas.
I didn't know it fucking snowed down there. I'm like, damn, it's snow in Vegas, bro. Fuck.
No, I've only been to America once, and it was when I was really little, and I was to Florida. I've never been Vegas or Los Angeles or New York. I have to check that stuff out.
So Tank and Ryan is going to be on Showtime and DAZN.
Yeah. So I guess you could buy it through Showtime through your satellite, and then if you want to buy it digitally, you could buy it through the DAZN app. I think that's how it works out.
Damn, that's crazy.
So if you already got DAZN, then you're gonna get it at a different price.
Discount.
No, we just have to see.
Yeah, you discount. Yeah. So I guess you'd save $20 or $25 or whatever it works out to. Yeah.
So you're paying $25 on DAZN, $75 on Showtime.
Well, if you've got if you're a DAZN subscriber, then you'd only pay $50 if you buy it through DAZN. But keep in mind you have to subscribe to DAZN. So if you're not a subscriber, you'd have to pay $20 on top of that to buy a monthly membership, right? So it'll work out the same, right? $70-something.
Yeah. Interesting.
But if you've got DAZN, and if you got DAZN, you want to save $20, buy it through DAZN. If not, then I guess it's just a regular satellite TV, which is $70-something.
Is Boxing Monster a real person in the chat?
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Again, it would take too long to even explain. But yeah, you're never gonna get anything but what you get right now out of Boxing Monster. It's years of this type of shit right here.
Boxing Monster, you a dumbass. Stupid motherfucker.
Wait, isn't that female that used to call in the boxing boys? The one with the big tits?
No.
Oh shit!
I doubt it very seriously. No.
Okay, maybe I think of someone else.
It ain't no tits on that monster, man. Wow.
It might be a fucking woman.
That motherfucker wake up mad as shit. This dude that's banging at breakfast. I don't know what the hell he says to his mom, but goddamn, I don't want to witness it.
Pseudologia. That don't sound. Yeah, that might be a whole out here, man. I don't know, you stupid motherfucker. But yeah, we just was cooking on Ryan and Tank, and so yeah, I think nobody. I mean, in modern day, right? I think it's easier to buy the fight. I think some fans they enjoy the club scene or the bar scene, but they ain't really got to pay. You know what I mean? The fight will be on the screen, they can just buy some wings, some drinks, and chill, and then then catch the fight as it goes. You know what I mean? We live in a way different era. I mean, you can watch fights on Facebook. You can watch them on streaming links. It's crazy, and then going to an environment where
it's actually crazy. There are literally thousands of groups on Facebook and Discord that stream the fights live, and then you've got through Fire Stick. You got Fire Stick devices, which you basically pirate all the different websites and apps, and even on Twitter or YouTube, you got people running the fights live. This is actually crazy. The piracy is actually out of control. Like it is so easy. In fact, it's too easy. Forget all that. Just use something as basic as Google. Google watch Joshua versus Usyk, I don't know, whatever, and they come up with all these Reddit links. You click Reddit, and literally you got thousands of people posted up all sorts of different posts, and then you got VPN, and it's crazy, man. Like it is.
So in actuality, like if they was able to cut down maybe half of the piracy, the numbers, what percentage of the viewership you think could actually, okay, what number, ballpark figure, do you think that the Tank and these fighters that's on pay-per-view are not getting, that people are just, getting that shit, watching that shit on the link, Facebook, some other shit,
I think Eddie Hearn was saying that
150.
Eddie Hearn was saying that could be high as 70%. Eddie Hearn was saying it could be high as 70%, and then as low as 50, because between the economical crash globally, where so many people, especially in the Western world as well, lost so much money and are poorer.
So damn near two-thirds more of what they get. So if they get 150, so say they sell 150, you know what I mean? In piracy, they probably, you know what I mean, if they weren't able to get it and people have to pay for it, they'll be looking at what, like 500 instead of 150?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So if they were going to do 1 million buys 10 years ago, right now they might only do maybe 350.
Damn. So shit, how much I think they gonna do?
This fight. I think maybe 500. That's a really good number. 400,000.
Yeah, I think 500. Yeah, something like that. I think that shit. Yeah, something around there, 500-600 probably. Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. Damn. Damn. Wow, I think that's bad, bro.
that is bad. But if they was really able, if people wasn't able to, you know what I mean, stream it, they could be looking at a 1.5, 1.3.
Yeah. So I think
but shit, motherfuckers can stream it, bro. More than half of the people that would buy it are streaming, bro. And hell yeah, I believe that shit. Hell yeah, because my homeboy only think he fuck with his UFC, and he don't buy none of that shit. And he a UFC fanatic. He a fanatic. He don't buy none of that shit, and he'll tell you. And he don't give a fuck about man, support this. Like, nigga, what? I'm got to get the fucking link. Shit ain't got nothing to do with him. Care about none of that.
No, I've got a friend that
wants to care about that shit is boxers.
No, I've got a friend that moved over from Thailand a couple of years ago, and he's not the most literate, but even he knows how to fucking stream all of this shit. He loves WWE. I'm like, bro, you can barely speak English. You've only had a smartphone for about 2 years. How the fuck do you know about all these websites? Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, everyone knows about streaming. From not just us that are, up to date with
everybody,
dudes that barely know how to work a cell phone are streaming fights.
Good link on that shit.
No, that's what Bob Arum said. He was saying that the pay-per-view
told us about the fucking links. Shit.
Yeah, that's the one. No, it was Bob Arum saying that the pay-per-view industry has been completely destroyed. That's why he doesn't use it anymore. He just uses ESPN and the app. ESPN Plus.
So y'all think it's Floyd's fault?
Nah, it's not none of their fault. Why the pay-per-views don't sell? It's just the fact that the links is just easy accessible, bro. And all you gotta do is ask your homie.
No, I mean, it was the music industry as well. Do you remember 50 Cent was literally selling over 10 million albums, and then 2 years later he could barely sell 300,000 because the music industry, piracy, destroyed it. So it's the same with boxing now, I think.
I mean, and it's this too, bro. I like if I'm in a barbershop, my nigga, and I'm telling somebody about watching the fight, and I tell them where they watch the fight at, I'll be like, oh, nigga, man, it's pay-per-view. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, where are you watching it? I'm like, shit, I might watch it, nigga, or buy it, or I can hit the link. I'm probably going to not buy the shit. You know
so,
my nigga? You know, what they going to do? Ask for the link. Nigga, hit my phone when the fight come. Nigga, I'm going to see you the link.
All right, so
And I'm not gonna press them to buy. Like, nigga, man, you better support them, man. Spend that 75. Like, nigga, nigga gonna look at me crazy. Like, nigga, send me the fucking link, my nigga. You know how to get it free, bro. Like, come on, dog.
So do y'all like because of the price of pussy went up? Niggas are screaming.
That's cap. $40 is gonna stay 40. Nah, bullshit.
I'll be honest, these days for $80, you can get your dick sucked on a pizza. These days. I mean,
this nigga wildin'.
don't
they got piece of vending machines out there where you wear Junior where you could put your money in the vending machine and you get a hot pizza?
Oh yeah. The hot vending machines. There are some in town centers where you put money in, they give you like a little mini pizza from the oven.
So how much is that?
Probably about I guess it'll work out to about $3.
Damn, so y'all pussy like $57.
I mean, depends, bro. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? So if you want like a hot Italian model, you got to really open up the wallet. If you want some dirty little Polish whore, then, I mean, 20, 30 quid.
20, 30 quid. This nigga funny as hell.
Yeah, bro. I mean, the reason why I believe Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn is because when they talk about it, the pay-per-view numbers going down. You can tell that it hurts their fucking soul, bro, when they talk about it.
But Bob ain't tripping because Bob got the it's like this. Bob straight when a motherfucker start asking for too much bread, you know what I mean? Then okay, we gonna throw it on pay-per-view because ultimately that's why. And I'm not saying that it's something wrong with Devin or it's bad that he doing that or any of that, but the only reason to fight on pay-per-view, I believe, I'm gonna just say that I believe, is because the cheese Devin wanted. Hell, Lomachenko never been on pay-per-view. When that motherfucker ever had a purse with Bob, like, man, we got to put this Lomachenko shit on pay-per-view. Like, nigga, he fight Devin, and all of a sudden Lomachenko on pay-per-view, nigga, because Devin want the cheese. So it's like, I'm not saying
Devin. I'm not saying he's jealous, but when he's looking at Ryan the Tank, I mean, he has to feel some kind of way when they're putting on a mega event, right?
Bro, I said that, but I said it's like that. Like as far as they want their bread, they want like bro, Tank and Ryan is like they got the names, and at the end of the day, like you still want to go out there and get accolades and be a legend and all that shit. Like, and that's what Devin out there earning. He undisputed, youngest undisputed ever. And shit like that, but you know what I mean. That's without the name and the face recognition Tank got. You know what I mean. They kind of got that. I'm not saying Devin don't want it. Well, the reason why I know he wanted because the way Bill out here, you know what I mean, talking like he can still he's still trying to sell himself. He still got to win people over and shit like that, and he do. And fuck, Tank and Ryan do too. But they got like a gang of people that fucking like him and shit like that. Like they already on the level and super popular.
From a Tank Ryan is they have huge fan bases, but also they're very explosive power punchers. So when you get highlight knockouts, you're easy to market compared to Devin's style.
Yeah, and right now, Tank is a minus 250.
Damn, that's kind of close, huh?
I mean, it's I think the odds are just gonna get longer.
I'm not sure, Smoke. I
don't think so. I mean, I don't think it. I mean, it might have, but I don't know. I don't think so, bro. I think it only get closer from here.
Really? You think Ryan? Yeah, I think the late money's gonna break wide for fucking Tank.
Yeah.
I think it'd be smart for them to put
see the reason why my bad, Jimmy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say the reason why I don't know is because like we are talking about these two guys being popular and shit like that. So when they fight, both of them get active on like Ryan already be active on this shit. But they gonna turn up even more. This nigga Ryan gonna be doing all this fancy shit. Motherfuckers gonna fall in love with that shit, bro. you know they're gonna be putting that cheese on Ryan. That's why I don't know if it'll get closer. Maybe you might right. It might squeeze out on Tank.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They waiting. That's what the smart money is waiting for. Like as a matter of fact, the smart money is getting in right now because they know it's gonna get fucked. Because these odds, it's like right now and then like the night of the fight, and if you're gonna do some round by round shit. Mm-hmm. I'm not much, but I don't even bet. So I'm just talking about like what I would be doing as a person that I think you can do round by round on the night of, right? So I can imagine that being some crazy money, but I think everybody really understands that Tank's gonna knock this dude the fuck out.
Yeah. Do you know what I smoke? I feel like even though these guys are definitely obviously stars, they're bringing the crowd. I'm not sure how many high rollers will come in, but you know how like when Mayweather fights in Vegas, or when Pacquiao used to fight, or Oscar or Canelo, they bring in like the high rollers. Same when Joshua fights in London. I don't know if Tank and Ryan will bring in like, I don't know, will the celebrities really come out like Will Smith and Usher? Will these guys really come out for?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I don't think. I think the celebrities will come out if I don't know. Is Floyd involved with this?
Nah, but it don't matter, bro. This shit, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. That shit gonna be crazy, smoke. Like, yeah, I think them stars gonna be out, bro. Like Tank, like he did have Madonna and shit at his last shit, but that's like in New York. It was kind of cold and shit too. You know, this gonna be summertime Vegas. Bro, I can see the stars out. I mean, is there any sports gonna even be going on like that? It might, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers gonna be living.
Nah, it's like wait, is it April? Yeah. No, is it April 15th? That like tax season shit?
April 22nd.
Oh, April 22nd. That's April 22nd. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's 420 weekend.
Oh yeah, it's popping. It's popping, man. It's popping. They gonna be out there pool parties and shit. I can see it now, my nigga. Ass and titties, man. You know, all the stars. You talking about football, basketball stars. They gonna be out there from Dame Lillard to Lil Wayne to fucking Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? Tank gonna bring all the rappers out. Ryan bringing out hella athletes because we done seen Ryan in NFL and NBA commercials, Gatorade commercials. Goddamn, we done heard
Disney stars. Disney stars.
Drop by niggas from Lil Wayne to fucking Lil Baby and all that shit. Like this gonna be Lil Dirt. Like man, yeah, them stars. That shit gonna be popping.
I think Vegas will be sold out. Definitely, fight.
Everybody already go see. Like yeah, bro. Everybody gonna be in there.
Yeah, I mean, put it like that, Q. I'm glad I got my shit already.
Facts.
You going to the fight? Who are you going to the fight?
Of course.
Man, it ain't real if Piro ain't there, bro. Piro snapping shit. Piro be man. All the fights, man. But he where it's popping, man. Piro in Southern Cal where it never rained at, man.
It's been raining a whole lot, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think it'd be smart if Lomachenko and Haney fought on sort of regular ESPN because it's a massive sports platform? They could maybe bring in 5 million viewers. I mean, those are pretty big numbers, you know, to help get exposure, especially if they try and get some Saudi money. I think the only way it won't be pay-per-view is, let's say if the Saudis put up, I don't know, $15, $20 million for a site fee, then they don't really need pay-per-view.
What's not going to be a pay-per-view?
Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. I think it would be massive numbers on ESPN, maybe 5 million, but I feel like, you know what, no matter how good you do on regular TV, I feel like pay-per-view is just kind of like a different level, I guess.
I mean, pay-per-view is just, man, it's just that cheese. Like, if you can get enough people, I mean, in this boxing, if you can get enough people excited for it, then you know they'll pay for it. David and Loma, I mean, the price point is, I pay for it, but it's all about the price point.
Q, if it is 200,000 or more, would you say that's a good number for Lomachenko versus Haney?
What, 2 or 3 million?
No, 200,000 buys on pay-per-view.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, damn. I think that'll exceed if they get that much. To be honest,
I think Lomachenko Teofimo did nearly 4 million viewers on ESPN I think Haney Lomachenko might do close to 5. So
I mean, I'll love to see it on regular TV. I think like it's Devin's signature fight, and I think that's that's regular TV. Like I think so. I think that'll be good. But like a $40 pay per view, I ain't mad at that. I
Shit,
think
I hope
that's
it's not on
even
pay per view, man.
if they push
I
it to $50, I think anything more than $50, then a lot of fans don't like it, especially 80, $90. I mean, that's a lot, man.
I ain't trying to pay for that fight, but I want to watch it. So with some pay per view, I'm gonna. Yeah, man.
That's not Mike Tyson's pay per views, all right, Q. They're like $40. Was it 50? Yeah.
I don't even know. $50, something like that.
Yeah, he stays going like goddamn. He stays yawning in our goddamn ears and going to fights. So we love him. As a matter of fact,
Is it
I
more-
like
Fucking smoke. Pinche way.
Yeah. So you stipulated the last time that you don't buy all of the pay-per-views and that you only buy the ones that you like.
That I
Off
want
the
to
top
watch.
of the top of your head, do you remember the last pay-per-view you didn't buy?
What's it called? Shit, no, I bought that one. Fuck. No.
Okay, you can't remember the last
No,
time
I
you bought
can't. No, seriously, I can't. Cause like
it.
literally, I didn't want to buy the Wilder Hellenius, but I bought it. I don't want to buy the fucking. I walked this earth like a god versus Ortiz, but I bought it. Um, yeah, man, these fucking motherfuckers be fleecing me, man.
Look, I know the last pay per view I refused to buy. I was actually thinking about buying Fury Chisora 3 because, I mean, it's a casual thing. My friends and my cousins will come over. So I thought, okay, I paid 20, was it £25 or whatever for it? Cool. When I sat down there, I looked at the price and they charged it up to £28 for a piece of shit fight I didn't want to pay for. I was like, you know what? I put the remote down and I straight away ordered a Fire Stick. That was the literal reason because it's not even about the money. Like £3 isn't gonna break me. I honestly felt Tyson Fury was spitting in my face. Like it was. I just felt it was so disrespectful. Right? You fought this dude twice on free TV. Right? When the guy was in his prime. You're gonna put the third fight where the guy's completely washed up on pay per view, and then you're gonna increase the price. Like, come on, that is so disrespectful. Like, come on, that is crazy.
I remember now, Floyd versus McGregor. I didn't buy that one.
Oh shit!
Not for
I put down $100 for that shit.
Fuck that.
Man,
that.
yeah,
I still haven't seen that
that was
fight to this day.
fun at my fucking house. Yeah, my kids were still fucking children at that point. Like, yeah, that was fun.
I bought that
Yeah,
one as
yeah.
well, Smoke. We had a massive. No, I didn't buy it. My big cousin bought it. Yeah, we went there to watch it. That was a massive fight. Yeah, I mean the Joshua fights. If I'm by myself, because even though boxing is big in the UK, not every single fight is like massive. So if it's one of the smaller fights, I'll just stream it through Fire Stick. I feel like Fire Stick's really fucked it up because once you hook up a good Fire Stick device to a TV, update it, get the right apps, bookmark the right websites, it's actually crazy, man. You actually don't want to pay for pay per view anymore because a lot of these links are like HD quality and they're very reliable. So yeah.
AJ fights are free. Never paid for AJ
Oh,
fight.
on the zone, yeah.
I don't even think we've ever been asked to pay for an AJ fight outside of the zone.
Yeah, the zone. This fight is actually on the zone glow. See, this is what I like about the zone. What they're doing, they're putting Anthony Joshua and Canelo's next fights on the regular the zone globally. So I think that was a very smart move. Get all those global subscribers, get all those global sponsors, and really, make a shitload of money, and the fans can watch it for free. The ones that are obviously subscribed to the zone. I thought it was a really good move.
My homie lives on the border. He's gonna get to watch the fights. He gets to watch the fight for free.
Yeah, LT lives on I think it's the Texas border, so he watches all the
Nice.
fights for free.
Lucky bastard.
Yep, he has a dish where he points it towards I think he points it towards the south or whatever. Then he gets all the although they're in Spanish though, which he understands. So I guess it doesn't make a difference.
I could always go to TJ, watch it there.
It's always difficult to watch the American fights in bars was the Fury Wilder fight. So a lot of the bars and hotels across the UK were playing the fights.
Yeah, over here it's different, bro. It doesn't happen that way, man. It used to.
Have you ever watched the fight at Busby's?
I don't know what Busby's is, brother.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
Must be a Northern Cali thing, no?
No,
You
it's
guys are fighting
well, there's two. There's Busby's West and Busby East, and Busby's East is like Wilshire, and then like Busby's West was like Santa Monica.
Okay, yeah, I never
Like
heard
right
of
by
it, brother.
the beach over in Santa Monica.
Never heard of it, bro.
You guys are fighting movie theaters in America.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fights. Sometimes I do like going to the movie theater, buying the ticket and just watching it. It's pretty cool.
My homie Go ahead.
But sometimes when I'm traveling and I can't watch the fight, I think they used to do it in America. I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but sometimes BBC they cover the big fights on their radio. So if you've got the app, or if you just use it digitally, they play the entire fight. So they've got a broadcast team where they cover the entire fight. So you get to hear the audio and stuff.
Just rub it in, Jimmy. Just rub it in.
I think I'm pretty sure you guys
get fights on the radio. That's badass, bruh.
Don't you guys do it in America? I thought ESPN did that.
Hell nah.
On the radio? Like hell nah.
Hell nah, bro. I never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Nah, heard of it in 19...
Now in the UK they do it. BBC Sports, they buy the rights to the global rights to all the fights, and they just stream them on the radio and their app and stuff like that.
We don't have our radio is actually really fucked up, and American radio is terrible, absolutely horrible. That I will say about it. Like I don't know, like you guys get fights, you get games, we get basketball games and some football games we get called on radio, but not boxing, not ever.
Yes, everything. Soccer.
The Dodger games on the radio. That's about it.
Yeah, but that's but even that guy like died, right? Like what was his name?
Vince Scully.
Yeah, that guy can tell you a hell of a fucking story in between pitches. Yeah, he was next level with his shit.
I wonder what kind of audience they drive though. So I'm thinking like they play him on the UK radio, right? But like surely people would be watching the updates on Twitter or on YouTube, or I wonder who actually sits back and watches their old like digital radio and stuff to listen to the fight live. It'd be weird, man.
Lucky bastard.
I think I've done that only once though.
Yeah, I'm this last topic, and I know the one it's one I think we're gonna like exit out on afterwards, unless you guys can come up with something that you want to like chop up. But like Subriel Matias and the 140-pound division, like you know, for
you cut off
Smoke. You're breaking up, Smoke. What happened to Smoke? Yeah, it's completely gone.
But there's also going to have some like money and some notoriety in the division with these guys at 135 going up there. And on the landscape, like when you see like the Tiafimos and like Devin's moving up there and like Ryan being up there, like what, like how do you project forward like Subriel Matias the next like 2-3 years? You think this guy's gonna become, the boogeyman? Is he gonna get beat? Like what do you think this next couple of years is looking like right now?
I think he's a very dangerous fighter, a very dangerous human being with the type of punching power, engine he's got, aggression, and physically he's a beast. Awkward style. He looks like quite a difficult puzzle to solve. I think it's going to be tough matching him because, again, he's not a big ticket seller and he doesn't really have a fan base. So you combine that with the fact that PBC don't really have a deep stable at 140, it's going to be tough, It's really going to be difficult to get big fights for him. Really, really difficult. But the plus is he's got a belt, so he's got some kind of leverage. But I just don't see, like, say if Tank blasts out Ryan Garcia, will they really want Tank to move up and fight a guy like Subriel Matias in his first fight? I highly doubt it from what I've seen. I know he likes fighting Latino fighters, but I mean, you gotta pick
Yeah,
your
not that
poison,
guy.
right?
Not those kind of Latinos. Yeah, shit. I don't know. That's a tall order.
He's food for the elite at 140.
Who's the he you're talking about?
Subriel Matias is the one you're talking about.
Oh, I thought. Well, you're just talking about Tank right there. Sorry, I mean you could have been talking about either one.
Oh,
But
my bad. No, Subriel.
you're talking about Subriel. Well, you don't think Subriel is the elite at 140?
I mean, he hasn't beat any elite opponents yet, so I mean, I can't put him on the elite category, but I do think he's very good.
Okay, so who is it that you put in the elite category?
Josh Taylor. What's that one dude's name? Ramirez.
Regis further.
140, 140, 140. Shit.
Rougarou?
Oh, Rougarou, obviously. Duh.
Oh, come on, my boy Jack Cattrall, don't beat the fuck out the undisputed champion and got robbed.
What about Cepeda?
I would have put him as elite. Actually, that's the fight I would want to see.
All right, and to get Subriel into the elite category, Cepeda is the gatekeeper for the elite.
No. For you to become elite, you beat somebody that is elite. So he beats anybody like Rougarou, Matias, Rougarou, Josh Taylor, or Jose Ramirez. I think he's elite.
Yeah, can I be honest? I mean, as far as Cepeda, I mean, this might be the second one he kills in the ring, and I'm not even trolling. I mean, I don't really think Cepeda would stand any kind of performance.
I think it would fuck up Puello.
Yeah. So what are your? All right. So Josh Taylor, I don't think is long for the division. I don't think he'll be around for that fight.
Yeah, sounds like
Matias, right? So Ramirez and Rougarou, what odds do you give him actually getting those fights in the next couple of years?
See, Rougarou, who's Matias under? Like his promotional guys?
I think I'm not sure who he's promoted by, actually. I know he fights in PBC, but I don't know who his promoter is.
All right, so Rougarou, 10%. Ramirez,
5%.
Yeah, 10%, bro. I mean, I hate this political bullshit, to be honest, bro. I wish they could be like, I'm gonna fight this guy, and then they fight him. I hate this shit.
The thing about Prograis is he's on Probellum, and I think he is a have gun will travel, although he doesn't seem to be that excited about Matias, but nobody's really excited about fighting Matias. So I'm not putting that on him personally, but yeah.
I think PBC has like a little vendetta versus Regis. That's why I don't think they'll give him any offers or anything like that.
I thought their issue was not with Regis specifically, but with Lou DiBella.
I mean, I would say you're 100% right, bro. But I mean, like, is there any like kind of spillover? I mean, like, do they hold ill will towards him as well?
I don't know either.
From what Regis said, he was actually the one that was unhappy because when he went there, he was promised the Mario Barrios fight. This is when Barrios and the Adrian Broner fights. This is when Barrios was undefeated. When he got there, Barrios said that he couldn't make weight anymore and was going to drop the belt, which was okay. But then a week later, he signed a contract to fight Tank Davis at 140 for the belt. And then he tried to make the Broner fight. But Al Heyman just couldn't get him that either. I think Broner ended up leaving the PBC, didn't he? So he was a bit unhappy with PBC and he just left, And since then, he's been doing well, Got a few, stay busy fights in Dubai. And then he got a big fight with Cepeda for a belt. So I think, he's all right. I don't like the way Jose Ramirez kind of, I just got to keep it real, man, dapped him. That was some fucking bullshit. But hey, it is what it is. Politics. BS, and then we keep asking, why is the sport dying? Why is UFC on the rise? Why are fans pirating everything? Here you go. There's your answer.
What's the UFC? I never heard of it.
Yeah, UFC has been promoting itself as being on the rise. When they were still on Spike TV, Like this old trope about how they're like overtaking boxing. Like I mean I get it. And Ronda Rousey's better than Floyd Mayweather. I remember.
Listen, I don't think they've overtaken it, but I think
I got it.
boxing was especially in America more so. It was always unrivaled as a combat sport. Like it was unquestioned. Now UFC has taken up a
No, it
sizable
hasn't.
audience.
UFC has just talked about. They just marketed themselves as taking up. Like boxing. See, here's the thing: UFC might be the number one thing at ESPN, but ESPN is not even driving the numbers in boxing.
Here we go. Fuck about boxing.
But even on Showtime, Smoke, you've seen Showtime Sports cut its budget and sign a deal with Bellator MMA because they're trying to get into some of that market. In the UK, no one even knew what UFC was 5 years ago. Now BT just signed a big deal with them, and smaller promotions are on the rise. I think
Yeah,
MMA is
I hear you. Like, who in their right mind is saying like UFC is taking over boxing in the UK? Like nobody.
No, I'm not saying they've taken over boxing.
No, I'm just saying. But to hear UFC tell it, they've been taking over boxing for like a decade.
I don't think they've overtaken boxing, but I feel like
No,
they're
I'm
a very
just saying that's
strong
the
rival.
thing. That's like what you just saying is literally what they have been saying. This is what like and you can tell that UFC is not overtaking boxing because they keep talking about fucking boxing.
Can I be honest,
Like
Mug? I mean, when they put the pay-per-view numbers out there, they're just so much better than boxing pay-per-views. Like, I know 500,000 buys isn't a lot, but I mean, who in America is doing 500K outside of Canelo? You know, and that's a card without Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar or those kind of guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm definitely hyped for John Jones fight coming back this weekend. Like, this is like, he's the kind of guy that I that got me back. Like, I'm an old UFC fan. I'm a Tank Abbott, fucking Ken Shamrock, Horace Gracie. I go back to that fucking part. Ken Shiro, and then also Pride fighting with Rickson and all that shit. Like I like that type of shit. Whereas like no weight classes, no time limits, none of that shit. You just like went for what you know, and the winner won the fucking fight, however long that took. Like the modern day UFC doesn't just lack personality or expertise. It's just the rules are just fucking weird. That top position for 5 minutes like that, and you win the fight because you're on top of a guy longer than the other dude. Like that is not compelling.
I think visually as well. Like, two dudes just I'm not trying to offend anyone, but two dudes just laying on top of each other for 5 minutes. I'd have to change the channel, to be honest. Like, they're actually trying to implement that now. There's actually a clause where in the contract, if you win by knockout in the strike, you get a bonus. So I think they're trying to make it more entertaining. I feel like with UFC, the pay-per-views, that was, I think, a bit disingenuous because they'll have like a mega card, right, with literally several main events. They'll have a Tank versus Ryan. On the undercard, they'll have something like a big fight like Plant versus Benavidez, and then also one of the Charlo brothers, and a good female fight, and then sell it as, you see what I'm saying? Like with UFC, it's more about the event than the actual the individual fighter. I think the cards are deep, and also it's cheaper. I mean, from last time I checked, the UFC pay-per-view is only about $50 compared to the average boxing pay-per-view, which is, I think, more than 70, right? 70 something dollars. So but Smart, do you feel like UFC's got better infrastructure, like the way they do their Ultimate Fighter tournaments, the Joe Rogan podcasts, the the kind of hype they do on social media, the WWE style promos, the docu-series is, do you feel like maybe they're better at promotion though than boxing?
I don't know about better at boxing. Like boxing isn't one promotion, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like UFC is one promotion. They may do boxing, they may do promotions better than some promoters in boxing, but I can't say that they're better than every single boxing promotion. Like,
even the UFC is one promotion, I'd say they probably control 70% of the top talent. Probably 80%, I think. 80% of the top talent. Yeah, because when I watch a big UFC card, and the lead up to it, they put out so many sort of show like docu series, like the shoulder programming. They gear tournaments around the big UFC pay per view, and the face off, and the media conferences are crazy, and you've got so much content like Joe Rogan podcast. You've got Ariel Helwani covering it, ESPN MMA. Like there's just so much. You just be a flood
There
with
is.
content.
It's just that boxing's already done all that shit, and that's the thing. It's like UFC dudes. They're relatively new, and
Yeah.
you only like. I don't. They just don't have the same kind of. They don't have the same kind of promotion. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the same kind of careers, because they don't have the same kind of market forces. A UFC fighter, all of UFC, men and women, right? All of the
Yeah.
combatants, I still is fewer than 700. That's like in the entire fucking sport, men and women. Like that is fewer than one division in boxing. Like I think there's more than 1,000 like world class welterweights, right? So it's just kind of like it's just not like these comparisons don't make sense. They're not analogous. They're not an apples to apples comparison. It's just a way for UFC to fucking promote itself. Because UFC they are the sanctioning body that offers the belts, that offers the rankings. They are the promotion they are the like you get managers. They have different gyms, but even then the gyms are like kind of like they're all under UFC gym. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah,
not
they
they're
call
not
it.
analogous really.
Yeah, the Apex. They call it the Apex Center. Yeah, they've got one gym. They've got one belt. They handle everything. So they control the title. They control the drug testing, the gym, the production. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the whole
very.
shit's like in house. It's just like a self-contained unit. Like they're telling you who the best is. When they tell you it's number one, number two, it's number one and number two in the UFC. It's not one and number two in all of MMA. They just say that shit. Nope, they're not trying to do no cross promotion with Bellator any more than goddamn Top Rank and PBC or Matchroom are trying to do cross promotion. Like it just so happens that that like you can't make that claim that all your in-house fighters are the best ones in the entire sport. Like
I think
unilaterally, you can't like boxing doesn't have that luxury.
you want to smoke. I think it's generally understood that UFC is the premium, brand of MMA, and they control probably more than 70% of the top talent. It's like WWE. Like no matter what wrestling program you watch, everyone around the world knows
How
WWE.
would you know if they weren't? There's no because nobody fucking gives a shit about MMA like that. So UFC gets to say that they're the best ones and they're signing the best because we don't know if they're lying or not. How the
No, I
fuck
mean
do
that's
we know?
true. That's true. I mean, I know there are a couple of smaller ones like Bellator and One Champion, but they just don't have anywhere near the kind of hype, global hype, or promotion or marketing, or yeah, no one really knows about most of them. To be fair, outside of the hardcores. Um,
Well, also like like the Pride, like that wasn't even weight classes. Like there was
yeah,
huge ass dudes with little ass dudes. Like it was just different rules. I don't know. Like UFC
I prefer that, to be honest. I prefer that. Now UFC, they've just, I mean, they're kind of safety heavy. You can't use certain elbows. You can't use certain kicks. You can't use certain takedowns. They're kind of taken away from the sport, to be honest.
yeah, I don't think like I think it's cool that they have a lot of different kinds of um arts like mixed into one, but they're not very
Yeah.
good at any of them. Like none of these are like the best. Like if you get a like he's like kind of one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys out there. That dude's generally like kind of boring. There's like very
Oh,
few
definitely.
guys who are just like masters at what it takes to be successful at MMA. That is like kind of exciting to watch. I think like I think the guy Nurmagomedov, what the fuck is the
Khabib,
dude that beat Connor's ass?
Khabib. Yeah, yeah,
Khabib, yeah, but not yeah. Khabib was
yeah.
like the last kind of like exciting like wrestler kind of dude. You know,
Check out Booty
I
Mass
like
Cover.
John Jones. Like I said, John Jones was interesting. That Gustafsson fight is still like one of my favorite MMA fights ever. That Gustafsson fight, but that was a long time ago. It's like nostalgia. Who knows what the fuck he looks like now?
I feel like a lot of fans feel like, and it's not just me, because I'm more of a casual, But I do have this. I keep hearing this very loud voice from a lot of fans that UFC overall they deliver a better product than boxing, and I'm sure you've heard it as well, right?
Yeah, but this is just UFC fans. Like this is the same thing. Like you just hear from a fan that consume one, don't consume the other. They have their own agendas
No,
for
no.
saying it. Like most people that hate on boxing that are like under a certain age are just
Yeah.
UFC fans. Like they
I
talk
feel a lot
about
of boxing
clinching on
fans.
one hand, but then on the next
Yeah.
hand they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the top position is fucking awesome." Like the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But I've heard a lot of boxing fans as well. I'm not. I don't name any to name any to hate
Yeah,
on
no,
anyone,
I'm
but
talking about the
there's
ones
a
who
big
actually
one.
consume both, right? I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people who don't really consume both. They only consume the one. They watch like I don't know, maybe big fights. Maybe they like a particular fighter, and that's what got them into the sport. And they watch those fights and just hate on everything else about boxing because they're really UFC fans. They just like one fighter.
No, but I've heard a lot of boxing fans as well that started off as boxing fans, and when they see UFC and Bellator and One
Okay, yeah.
champions,
I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I don't know a single
boxing
one
historian.
that has switched
No,
over,
boxing
like
historian.
that's been watching boxing for decades and just decided they're going to throw in the towel for UFC. I don't know
I'll tell
a
you one
single person.
boxing historian. No, I'll tell
Okay.
you one boxing historian, and you can ask him. Boxing
No,
historian.
I was just watching fights with boxing historian. Like he was just talking about, he was just fucking
Yeah.
watching Jake Paul and the goddamn Tommy Fury. That dude watches anything he can bet on.
Shout out to BH. But no, he was saying that UFC, MMA, they put on a much better product
Yeah,
than
no, because
boxing. And boxing.
because he's an MMA fighter, literally.
I'm pretty sure he started watching boxing first. But he thinks
No, I'm just
boxers are
saying
divas.
he's like an amateur MMA guy. Like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but he feels that boxers are more soft and divas, while guys in the MMA world are more warriors.
listen, yeah. I mean, but yeah, that I don't know, but it's like again, it's just one of those. Like I said, I'm not saying boxing store is only in it for one guy or two guys. He's not that kind of guy, but he is a guy who is more into MMA than he is into boxing as a sport to participate in, and he is
Mm.
definitely one that loves to hate on shit. So
Shout
I mean,
out to
it is
B.
kind of
There's
like
actually something I want.
I don't
Actually,
know
something I want.
I don't know who took the fucking jelly out of his donut, but yeah. That guy
I know
is
come on, you
he's the
Google.
most surly guy under 30. Like,
No, you're making the comments.
maybe he is
Google
30.
guy. Yeah,
Say again?
I think he's. No, you guys have some good banter when you go back and forth. No, I actually want to ask you something before you end the stream, man. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on the pay per view system in America? There's a lot of promoters have complained about the numbers. Of course, Bob Arum he feels like it's broken. What is the solution to fix it though, so they can get the numbers where if you put on a big fight, it does 1 million buys or 500,000 or 800, where stuff
Oh,
like that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you have to put in like that requires um right. So let's take a thing outside of boxing. I don't know, maybe you remember like DVD players and shit like that. You remember all those pirated DVDs?
Yeah.
Like bootleg movies. That was like a phenomenon in the 90s. Like it's not about like whether or not people could even afford the price of the movie. It's just that they would rather watch a shitty copy for cheaper. That's just the market. The market is like why pay for something that you can get for free. That's just a market force that you're up against. And technology has basically cracked that fucking code. It you like it's just kind of like even like the I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go that deep into this whole thing because I could say some disgusting shit. But
No,
yeah, like
no, no, go.
there used to be like
Let's go
blocked.
deep.
I'm gonna go into.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a.
let's go
One
balls
second.
deep in this. Let's see what happens. You're
I'm
still on
gonna.
smoke. Hello.
I'm sure I'm gonna be breaking up in a second. I'll be right back though.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, breaking up. I'll be right
So I'll
back.
read some. Okay, mate. I'll just read some of the comments. I wish you could go live every day. Diverse, unbiased, fair, reasonable. Boxing talk, no screaming, cussing. I'll put you off the panel talking like you left.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm pulling
kicking
up
you
to
off the
my house,
panel.
and so I'm gonna have a bad connection for like 2 minutes. I'll fix it in 2 minutes though.
Okay. That's true, Smoke. You could do lives every day, Smoke. Like, and people will show up. I mean, yeah, man, this is a good show.
Yeah, a lot of the old school people that they just, I guess it's my timing that is, I'm too early in the morning for them on Friday. They prefer an evening, but I actually do shit in my life outside of being on YouTube, like contrary to popular belief. I do have shit going on, so yeah.
Well, you know what, Smoke? Those are just assholes, to be honest, man. Yeah, you know, people that say that. Oh, you know, you're on YouTube talking boxing. My thought is, yeah, but how do you know I'm here? That means you're watching me. So what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I don't know. It just sounds like a bunch of jealous shit to me, but whatever.
Yeah, Smoke. No, but I was just thinking your opinion. Like, how do you fix that? Like, did you do you take pay-per-view away and move the boxing fights strictly in movie theaters? I mean, would that work?
Hold on, give me like 2 seconds to get in the house, and then I will answer that question about how I think you could fix. I don't think you would get like a million buys in pay-per-view. I think that horse has left the barn. But I'll be right back, and I'll answer more in depth.
Yep. Yep. Shout out to the chat. Come on, chat. Come alive. What's everyone's mind? Chat to Lee. Who was in the chat? You got Tony Boswell. You got Lisa Bales.
I didn't expect for this to be a long stream. I'm just doing a quick strike, just because. Yeah, there's a couple of things that were just like kind of on my mind and on my heart about what the hell I was just witnessing. And the internet is toxic at on its best day. And it's just like kind of weird now that I've seen some stuff that is just like, maybe it's beyond the pale. Maybe it's even sort of new to see people like, I don't know, being this raw. For everybody to see, especially like these legends in the sport. So it's like, man, this is kind of a trend. I wonder if this is just about social media. This is what we have to look forward to when it comes to boxing promotion, or just like what it takes to be a personality in the 21st century. This is like, reality TV style.
So when you say legends in the sport, do you mean like a Mike Tyson when he does his podcast?
Well, I was just talking about the donaires and their thing.
Oh God, that was awkward. That really was awkward, and I just really wish that wasn't out there, because they're kind of like a traditional Asian family. So I feel like it's not a good look. You had Rachel crying on a panel. That was sad to see, to be honest. You had Nanito's father saying that his son isn't giving him any money, which is again pretty sad. But then apparently they shown documents where Nanito transferred this guy over $100,000 when he was claiming that his son only gave him 1,000. Which, I mean, I don't know. It's not a good look though. I don't really feel bad for the kids as well, because this is the social media era, and these kids are little, but in several years they will go to college, and this is going to be out there, and I just feel like, for the sake of the kids, I feel like they should stop, because seeing their grandfather and their mother and father go to war like this publicly, and the fact that's going to be online forever, and I feel like a lot of vultures online, I feel like they kind of took advantage of this, to be honest. A lot of media vultures, they really took advantage of this. They should have been a lot more careful, I think. Social media is very difficult, once you switch it on, whether it's going live on YouTube or Twitter, you have to be very careful, because a lot of famous sort of social media stars have lost their career because they've accidentally said the wrong thing on live, or they've accidentally said something on a tweet they shouldn't have, and they got quote unquote exposed, and their career's kind of gone down the shit pan.
Oh yeah, I don't know, corporate dudes who definitely that happened to.
I mean, there's a guy called True Jody. He covers he's like a casual sports fan. He covers soccer.
I know True Jody.
Yeah, he covers UFC. Funny guy. I actually didn't mind the joke. He was saying Andrew, and I'm a Muslim myself, right? He said Andrew Tate converted to Islam. If he's really about that life, he should go all the way and blow himself up. I found that funny. Like, I could definitely understand why people found that offensive. Within 12 hours, he lost several sponsorship deals with big brands. He lost, I think, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and DAZN cancelled his TV contract. So literally, in less than 12 hours, this guy's lost millions of dollars. So you've got to be careful what you say. And he made a video. He apologized, and I honestly, I don't think he's a racist. I think he was just a guy that was just trying to be funny or to take a cheap shot at someone. But not everyone is as easygoing as me and you, Smoke, that brush things off. I mean, in this PC world, man, you've got to be very, very careful. You know, you can't make comments about the LGBT. You can't make comments about people's religions, whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever, or people's race. You know, you have to be very careful, especially when you're public light. You know, you could lose literally millions of dollars worth of corporate sponsors and TV deals.
Hold up, right? I'll be right there. Keep cooking.
Yeah, so I think he lost a deal. What did he lose a deal with? So he lost a sponsorship deal with Gymshark, 888 Poker. I think there's something else as well. He lost like 3 or 4 within an hour of that video leak. And I'm not sure how they terminated the contracts though. So apparently they were long-term deals, but I guess they must have had a clause where he lost several of his big sponsors. I think his YouTube account lost literally overnight 300,000 subscribers, and DAZN made it clear that they weren't going to work with him in the future. All that for a little joke.
They made it clear they weren't going to work with who?
So when he made that joke about if Andrew Tate's a real Muslim, he should go all the way and blow himself up. The next day, his sponsors cancelled their contracts with him, so he lost several sponsorship deals. These were big sponsors that he had that were investing in his show and him. And DAZN, which he was doing some media work with DAZN, that they ended their contract as well. Because you know how DAZN is doing YouTube boxing? He was one of the media guys that was covering the event as a commentator, as an analyst guy, and he was doing big things. You know, he was signing big corporate sponsorship deals. He was doing.
I remember him being real famous off of like the McGregor fight.
Yeah, and then the next day he broke down, started crying that he wasn't a racist, that he has Muslim friends, and it was just a stupid comment. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, you got to be very careful what you say, because even though he apologized, DAZN didn't offer him a contract, and his sponsorship deal stayed cancelled. So that's what I just meant. Like, you got to be careful on social media. This is why I don't cam up or use my real name. I know a lot of people say Jimmy's because you're a fucking pussy, but I'm not like Johnny Boy. You know, I've got a future and a life that I actually care about. And when I'm a piece of shit troll, I know in my heart I don't have any ill will. But a lot of people that I think like the way I go after people on these smoke panels, they wouldn't think that. So.
Well, sorry.
What's your take on all that?
Huh?
Who do you think is in the fault? Who do you think is in the fault in that situation? Rachel, Nanito, or the father?
I don't find fault here. Where people are looking at stuff like that, like for me, I look at how hard it is to run a family business. And if your family business is boxing, that's crazy. And then also if you're like one of the legends in boxing, and in the 21st century, what it takes to like break through and like be like relevant, especially in the lower weight classes. Like it's more like that to me than like what their own personal drama is that I could never fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, originally when he said Nanito doesn't help him financially, and he only paid him $1,000 for the Inui fight, I myself was really shocked because I knew that he had made millions. The Inui fight was so big in the tournament and all that stuff. But then Nanito clapped back and said that he had proof that he wired his father over $100,000 for that fight. So then I'm like, okay, who's telling the truth then? So, and then Rachel started crying that people were calling her a gold digger. Is she? I've got to keep it real, man. Like, I mean, a lot of people do think she's a gold digger, and I mean a lot of people. Like, probably 90% of people I speak to.
Well, here's the thing. what if it's this, right? And I hate to chop this up this way, because I feel like the Donaires, Rachel specifically, but Nonito also. Rachel specifically is, I felt like contributed to this channel's like whatever meager successes we had this early on. I think like part of it I owe to like her contributions, right? So there's that, and then there's also the way that they've like welcomed me on their own channel. So this is also, it's just like a little bit weird for me to I don't know, for me to go into, but the way that from what I heard, it sounds as though there's a hole that was created by the dad's departure that Rachel tried to fill. That there was a hole in the team that was always there that she tried to fill. And boxing being the way that it is first off, it's not very welcoming to women to begin with. And then secondly, it's like just the society that we live in doesn't take they don't view women taking this kind of role, like this kind of control of their fighters' careers like this. It's not really seen to be that like a positive thing. I remember Mayorga smacking Sugar Shane Mosley's wife. I remember like kind of like Tim Bradley's wife taking over for a minute, and like people looking kind of weird at that shit. Yeah, it is what it is. But I think more so is just like how tough it is to fill roles in a corporate structure with family members. Like that shit is just it's just a tough thing to do. Like if your family business is boxing, like goddamn, that's rough.
What do you think about that? Like, say Nonito and Tim Bradley, they've got their wives in a very strong position as far as manager and advisor and stuff, and a lot of fans do call them cucks and simps. What do you think about
that? I think a lot of fans live vicariously through these fighters, and they hold them up to a standard that they can't live up to themselves. And a lot of people have impossible standards, and a lot of people need to manage their expectations even for their own lives. But they have unrealistic expectations of themselves, and they project that onto these people who are out there, like winning at life at least on a surface level. And then they think that they should be, life should be structured in a particular kind of way. And yeah, this whole thing about cucks and fucking alpha males and all that shit, I find the whole thing fucking stupid and counterproductive, and something that's like, if that's the way your relationship is organized and it works for you, it knocks yourself out. Cool. If it's not, then nobody needs to be ridiculed for it. Like that doesn't need to be the standard or the norm or anything to be strived for. Like the value should be like a harmonious and like functional and sustained fucking union, and a healthy one. Not like who is in charge. These goddamn power plays. I don't give a fuck who's in charge in your home. Like,
See, I've seen a lot of fans. When I mean a lot of fans, I don't mean a couple of comments. I mean a lot of fans I've spoken to in panels, comment sections, and even on Twitter. I've seen like there's a massive opinion that they stop respecting the fighter as well if they see their wives. Like again, Nonito's the obviously the hot topic. So a lot of fans don't like Rachel, and by default, some of them have stopped becoming fans of Nonito, saying that, well, we thought Nonito was this way and he was an alpha male and a leader in his home, but he's letting his missus, control everything.
Yeah, I don't know that Nonito is like trying to hold on to fans behind the facade. He seems to me to be a lot more authentic than that. And not only that, I think he is appreciative of that he has loved ones and family that would step into those roles and sacrifice their own happiness for his like well-being and sacrifice for his greatness. I think he's appreciative of all of that. And the fans can't see that because they're wrapped up in some fucking fantasy, some Conan fucking fantasy that I'm sure their lives don't reflect at all.
That's true.
Like it's just kind of like it's fucking stupid, really.
I think the Rick Glazer situation really brought that to light, because that was kind of when it started to really reach boiling point. was the way he handled Rachel and just said that he just kept thanking Richard Schaefer, kind of like almost she didn't exist. There wasn't even like she was just there to hold a cup of tea or I don't know, carry his bag. So I think that what I mean,
Yeah, and that entire thing, like as a manager, as a person who dealt in contracts, when I was working, like that's not like anybody, and that's what he does also. So like to just say that like anybody can do it, yeah, anybody can do it, but not everybody can do it. It's
I
like
see what you're
just like
saying.
being a fucking billionaire. Yes, anybody can pull themselves up, but not everybody can. Like it's not the way the fucking thing works.
Yeah, so he was saying that apparently Richard Schaefer is the brains behind the operation. Nanito's the talent and the hard worker, and Rachel just there to stand there and look pretty,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So
I
that's what.
got it. I mean that is the way that he would like to. I feel like salve his own bruised ego because nobody's calling him manager of fucking anything, and he just got mad. Either he just don't want like women in these fucking spaces. Either he just wants to make sure that men get all the fucking shine, or for whatever fucking reason, he doesn't. He thinks that he is better than the other managers that the Boxing Writers Association of America have honored, and he's got some grudge about them. But it doesn't seem. It's just stupid. Like Richard Schaefer is a promoter. He's not the manager. Like he does his job. But like Nonito is the fighter. He's not the manager. He does his job. Like Rachel is the manager. She does her job. Like
Yeah, I
that's
just find it
why she
weird
was.
how
That's
angry.
why she was honored for doing a good job managing Nonito.
I just find it weird how Rick Laser, even though because I'm open minded, so I want to see what his point was. I found it weird how angry he got and how quickly angry he got because Rachel, even though she was asking him tough questions, I mean that was the type of environment it was, but she was keeping it, polite and classy, and he was the one that kept cutting her off. And I don't know why he got so angry. Literally in 5 minutes, he got so angry and left the panel, and she was being quite easy with him. I don't know what his issue was. Like I would have liked to see him stay and actually have a debate, but he just kept thanking Richard Schaefer and saying that he was a massive fan of Nonito. So, which I think Rachel knew he was taking a dig at her. Every time he kept saying Rachel did a tremendous job with Nonito, almost trying to take, I guess, some praise away from Rachel. Even though she's the ones at the conventions, she's the one that's to fill out all the VADA forms, sort the purses out, the flights, the training situation. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to do. But apparently, according to Rick Lacer, so Richard Schaefer.
Well, I mean, whatever however that dude wants to troll is on him. And
I don't think it was trolling us
whichever
more
fans want to
because
buy into that, that's on them. Like for me
I don't
though,
think it was trolling though, because he got
for
quite
me,
emotional. He got very angry though. I don't think it was trolling. He almost took it personal. He got really angry.
um, well, I think his lack of patience
Yeah.
could have been centered around a few things. It definitely came across as sexist, even if he didn't mean it to be that way. It could have very well been that he gets aggravated when he's spoken to by in that particular manner by people who are much younger than him, and he feels like don't have the qualifications to treat him that way.
Yeah.
But it still could have come across as like either ageist or sexist or whatever. He just seemed like he was giving her hi hat and being disrespectful in a way that she wasn't really, especially since he is the one who started the whole fucking confrontation. He was like Rachel wasn't like tripping off that dude at all.
Yeah.
And it could very well be. And like Rachel and Nonito Senior are both of a different generation. And so maybe their thing is just the way they think the roles that women should like exist in. That could be very well be the thing. I don't know. I don't know if
I
that's
think.
for the case. I just,
I mean, you do have a good point though. To be fair to, I've seen a lot of men say this, like an industry like boxing, which is so sort of male driven and alpha male, and it's a blood sport that a lot of people don't like seeing women there unless they're ring card girls.
yeah. One of the things I liked about PBC was
Yep.
that them putting on championship fights on free TV. And
That was
initially
really good.
they didn't have ring card girls. And I like both of those things.
They didn't have any ring card girls.
Not initially.
Hmm.
I don't know if they stopped
See,
doing that, but at the beginning they didn't.
there's a debate in the UK recently. Should ring card girls be removed from sports because it's sexist for boxing, darts, um, wrestling, other things like that. And I get what they're saying, like, but my thing is this though: like, a lot of the women, I mean, these are their jobs, right? A lot of the amateur models and
Yeah,
stuff.
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear that argument. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So a lot of these women, they were like, this was on Good Morning Britain, and a lot of the women, the feminists, they were coming out saying this and that. But a lot of the girls, they came out, look, they were like saying, look, these are our livelihoods. We're young models. We don't make a lot of money, and this is our job. This is our life. This is a good platform for us to get other gigs. And if you truly believe in feminist, then give me the right to choose what I want to do. Whether it's degrading myself, in your opinion, but not in mine. Can you see what I'm saying? Like some people might find it degrading, but others don't. And I think there was a debate of why aren't there ring card guys? But
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with boxing is the issue.
yeah,
Yeah, for me, that's really what it is. It's like all these jobs to me seem integral to the actual sport. But if you just have
mm,
some extra shit, I don't know. I'm not trying to I'm not saying that they shouldn't have a gig where they can keep their clothes on and shit. Like I'm not mad at Hooters. But yeah, I don't know. They don't have shit to do with the sport. I'm not trying to put them in the unemployment line. I just don't get it.
to be honest, well, I feel like a shout out to Hooters though. Apparently, there's Hooters is going to open up 3 stores in the UK. Are they any good though? Is it just hot girls that come and serve chicken wings, or how is it?
I mean, I guess if you call them hot, it depends on you, right? It depends on the Hooters. Depends on who applies. I mean,
Yeah,
to me, the hottest ones that I've come across don't really sell it. They're not really selling their sexuality. And the ones that do, I don't know. There's been a couple of hot ones that are like that, but for the most part, it's like kind of just regular ass chicks that put on a whole bunch of shit to make themselves fit a mold, fit a model, and they don't. I don't know, whatever.
yeah. With me, I mean, if you want to see hot, attractive women, you might as well go to a strip club. Like, why would you want a waffle and chicken? So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see that I don't really get too much, but I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, I've not seen like the most attractive women that I've been, involved with, seen in my life, or they're just not sex workers. They don't they don't really turn the sex into a commodity. They just don't do it. So that's the kind of shit that I like. So I don't know. Yes, but it's to each his own. Like I said, I'm not trying to kick them out of the fucking business, but I did appreciate that about the PBC that they were at least trying to make a nod to I don't know, some kind of what is it? Some kind of not objectifying of like women. Like if there's gonna be women, there's gonna be like boxing. They're gonna be there because it was a fucking fighting event, not just like, look at some tits.
Yeah, see, with BBC, when they started out, they did some amazing things. You remember they hired, was it Hans Zimmer to do the PBC theme, where the person would walk out on the podium, and then the free boxing, and then they used to put on really good undercards. I don't know how they went from that to, mediocre fights on pay-per-view with, um, and super inactivity. They were putting on massive cards on ESPN, Spike, NBC, because I was around back then. I had to watch all that stuff. They were literally putting on a big card every week on free TV, and it was incredible. They had Hans Zimmer with the soundtrack. They had an all-star commentator. I was like, oh shit, I actually thought PBC was going to take over like UFC, and then they went from that to again everything on pay-per-view and incredibly inactivity. Like, where do you think it all went wrong? Because something's really wrong with the PBC compared to what they were and what they wanted to be.
I think it's very simple. They lost the fucking Fox deal because of the pandemic. And really, during the quarantine, everybody left broadcasting and went to streaming. All the broadcasters left. I mean, all the advertisers left. All this shit. It's just like everything's off. They're slowly coming back for their like big events like Super Bowl and shit like that. But for the most part, everything's just kind of fucked.
But now the pandemic's back. Why doesn't Fox just like sign them again though?
Well, Fox got sold twice doing that since then. It's like this totally different group of people. Who knows what the fuck they want to do with Fox? It's Fox Sports, like not just Fox is a thing. Fox Searchlight and Fox News and all that other shit. It was just Fox Sports got sold.
Yeah, the same Showtime as well. Is some people say it's going under. Some people say it's going to streaming. I think the president said that any show that does less than 10% of their total subscriber base, they don't think it's feasible to keep it on. Which I think boxing, a lot of their events, they don't do over 2 million views or whatever. So I mean, what do you think is the future of PBC?
I don't know. They got to figure that shit out though. I know the future of all of the entire sport, not just PBC, but the future of boxing is streaming. The future of sports is streaming. So like they need to just figure that shit out. Because that's how everybody is consuming content. Like nobody's sitting there watching HBO because of the Saturday night movie. Yeah, that shit's just fucking dead. Like these original programs. Like the new reboot of Game of Thrones is fucking weird.
House of Dragon.
Yeah, House of Dragon. Like, yes.
When the hell are they gonna release that Jon Snow show? Oh, I fucking hate it. What are your thoughts on the ending though, Game of Thrones? That was some fucking bullshit, man. They called my girl Daenerys, man. That was all. I'm still pissed thinking about it. She randomly goes insane in the last 2 episodes, and man, that really broke my heart.
It was just too much of a siege scene. You know, really the thing is, like, I am tired of medieval like England and fucking Europe mythology. Like, I show somebody else's shit. Like, I even appreciate the Vikings now, the Viking shows, because it's at least another part of European history. If you're just gonna keep showing me like shoving goddamn Western world and their bullshit down my throat, like give me some stories that I haven't heard a million gazillion fucking times. I don't need hobbits and Lord of the Rings and fucking fairies and Hogwarts and any of that. Like, I don't know, man. I've had my fill of it, but I did like Game of Thrones for its like the politics and the drama, and there's some really good. The amount of characters that they had was like kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was really difficult. Like, I always felt like they were trying to spin 30 plates at once. And you know my theory is for Game of Thrones? I think because the directors and the writers had been working non-stop on that show for over 10 years. I think the creativity, I think they got burnt out. I think they got overworked and they just wanted to end it as fast as possible. Do you think that was it? 10 years on the same show.
That last episode, I mean, it was just a big ass siege scene. The Clegane brothers, like that battle scene was fucking weak. Ultimately, it was just like too much. Like I don't know. Yeah, and the thing about the Game of Thrones, ultimately, which is why I was glad it ended.
Yep.
Was it was like the motto of that show was it could always get worse, no matter how fucking bad it was. They just made it get worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the entire fucking thing. Like there's nobody ultimately that you would like to be in that show. Like everybody's life just ultimately was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, actually you're right. Yeah. I was about to say John, but didn't get savagely murdered by his own men.
Yeah, and then he got brought back to life only to fuck his aunt and go right back to the wall. Like,
oh fuck, yeah, you're right. And even when he started the war with Ramsay, the whole point of the war was to save his little brother, who died at the start of the war, which kind of made the whole war irrelevant.
Yeah, like he's the last Targaryen, but like nobody can trust Targaryens. Like literally, like even the best characters turned into a bloodthirsty fucking maniac. Like the dragons got shot up.
Oh, that was really bad though. The way the Night King as well, this ultimate unstoppable. This was some fucking horseshit, Smoke. The big build-up between Jon and the Night King, damn near 7 seasons of teasing, face-offs, and this is it. Jon draws the blade, they're about to go, and then he gets cock-blocked by that zombie dragon, and then that little girl, his little sister, just jumps from behind and kills him. Like, this dude was getting...
I'm not mad at the faceless men and the death being the ultimate god or like I don't know, like all that like god mythology shit. I'm not mad at the way it was because I like that little move she had, especially when she put it on Big Brienne. I like that shit. I'm not mad at that particular part, although, yeah, I remember in the moments that I was kind of was just like, they was building up Jon Snow to be this guy, but
Yeah.
Jon Snow never fucking smiled. Like his life was so goddamn bleak the entire time. Like I don't know, man. That whole like everybody just. I'm glad I wasn't there. Like about the Game of Thrones, it made me. If I ever wanted to, okay. I don't know if you've ever played this game when you were a kid or like maybe a young adult of like if you could go back in time, like which time period would you go to and like who would you hang out with? Like nobody ever picked fucking medieval England. Like nobody does this shit. Like who the fuck wants to live in this time with fucking mud and rape and getting your shit cut off and tortured because you owed fucking money to some king? Like nobody wants to fucking live in this time. I don't know why they keep showing us this shit.
Do you know this, Mark? And to be fair, even like when I was growing up, like, and when we played those games, I'd go back in time and be like a Japanese samurai or something like that. Yeah, man, there's a medieval England. But to be fair, though,
A bunch of torture scenes, getting your fucking balls cut off and turned into meat.
Oh yeah, fucking Theo.
I don't want to see 3 seasons of that shit. Like what?
Oh, you know the Sansa thing? Oh man, that was really bad though. You know when that
Sansa and the whole Bolton fucking arc. I'm just like,
I was happy. It was satisfying though. You know when John literally smashed his face in? That was satisfying. He didn't put up much of a fight.
You can't kill this dude enough. He killed one of the brothers. He raped and fucking mutilated, maimed as your fucking sister. I don't know if he was a rape per se. I guess there's no such thing as rape back then. Like women didn't have fucking consent. Yeah, the whole fucking thing. I'm not trying to man, get the fuck out of here.
They were responsible for Rob's death, right? They set them up to the Lannisters. So he killed 2 brothers. He raped his sister. There just wasn't enough John could do to him, was there? Stole their house, killed their people. There was just no way you could get revenge off this guy, is there? There's no way you could even up the book.
Man, come on. The dogs ate him? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And I felt bad. Sorry for Sansa when she was like, she made a comment like, I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm not talking about my fragile heart. I'm talking about the physical pain. I mean, I'm not.
I can feel it right now, standing here. Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what.
I mean,
you don't know what hot rods or.
Actually, the person who the real hero of this entire fucking thing was Arya. She's the only one who's had her fucking life turn out the way she wanted it to fucking turn out. Only her dad got killed in front of her. That was about it.
Yeah, you know what? To be fair to Jon Snow, that was actually fucked up because when they sent him to the wall, one day into the wall, he's looking around saying, I was told this was an honorable place where we came here for the greater good. This place is full of fucking scumbags. Why didn't anyone warn me?
In that moment, though, that was just a spoiled rich kid fucking talking for real.
Yeah.
I mean, he was spoiled, but he didn't know. At the same time, he had it rough because he was raised with without the love of a mother and all that shit. But
I actually like that couple as well. When Daenerys and Jon gets, I thought they had cool chemistry, and then a scene later, I find out, their aunt and nephew, as the fucking, literally. Oh man, that show was obsessed with incest, though.
Yeah, no, well, they told you right when he was knocking on the door. They let you know that what he was gonna do. So when he went in, he was just like, ew, yeah, man, whatever, man.
I watched it with a group of friends, and all the women, you'd actually be surprised. They were cheering, they were getting excited. I'm sitting there thinking, yo, this is incest.
Yeah, they probably weren't watching the ins and outs of what they probably were just going.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what? Am I the only one realizing? Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, Tony. This turned into a Game of Thrones kind of thing.
Was it Tony Boswell?
Yeah, he's lost.
To be fair though, Smart, I've tried to watch some because I like getting out of my own element. I like watching other nations' historical pieces, but is there any good American medieval stuff? I think because back then America really didn't. They were kind of all natives.
Medieval, not shows about that time. Not from medieval time. We have our period pieces. We had one called The Alienist. That was about New York, and the rise of serial killers and shit, and using empirical fucking using police work to track down serial killers. back in the day. It was like about using forensic psychologists. That's right, to like track down and to like profile serial killers. That's kind of a weird one. There's Turn. That was about the Revolutionary War. Yeah, we don't really get like colonial America because that's not really America. That's really either Dutch or English or Spanish colonies, right?
To be fair, though, it is kind of American because the people that first colonized America and their colonies 1,000 years ago, they would have been in Western Europe.
Huh? 1,000 years ago? There's no fucking Western European. Okay, so you have some Vikings that came here, but they didn't colonize, right? They just came and had outposts. It's not like they've claimed their land for fucking Norway or Scandinavia or whatever the fuck. Yeah, right. They were in a colony. The colonizers was, I mean, really 1492.
So it was a 12. What was it? 12 colonies, right? 12 colonies.
Well, there was 15 colonies by the time we got rid of all the colonies, but then there was still the French colony. I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about. So the main colonial interest is France, Spain, the Dutch, and the English.
Yep.
Right. The Germans had a little bit of like Africa, and they had some part of like St. Croix. They had some stuff in the like Antilles, the Lower Antilles. They had some shit over here, this part of the world, but not really huge German presence. There was like the Huguenots were here, but there were a lot of the Huguenots were like French, but they did have some German ones too.
There's a theory that most of Europe, especially the French and the English, did actually plot together to keep the Germans down because whenever Germany would rise up, they industrialized so fast. So First World War, Second World War, everyone else had to get together just to make sure they wouldn't get out of control, right? Because there's always this fear Germany would take over Europe. Which is weird because you don't think it's Russia.
Well, it's that whole, it's that whole like Roman thing that like, you know, there was, and this is like where the concept of tribes come from, that like sacked Rome and then took over, and then, you know, whatever, they became after the church took over, the first like Habsburg and the Austrian, and then the first Reich, Holy Roman, before the Fatherland. Anyway, all Illyria and all the Illyria was taken over by the German like hordes, whatever you call those guys. The Goths, the Visigoths, there was another one they were called.
I had no idea how many times England had been raped and pillaged. The Romans, the Vikings, the fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, not the Iberians, but they were those two. Fuck, it's like the name of it is on the tip of my tongue, but yeah, the Germans, like like how Germany even got founded was like kind of crazy, and a whole bunch of wars that involved a whole bunch of nations and a whole bunch of different kind of people. So just I could see how the Germans are they're just a sprawling ethnic group.
Even though I'm obviously, you know, I'm from England and all that stuff. Today, living in North London, when I'm watching a Game of Thrones show, there's literally nothing I can relate to. You know, like where they go.
It wasn't Ed Sheeran in one of those fucking episodes.
Who was that? Yeah, Ed Sheeran. But just the like, I don't know, man. Just the sceneries they use, the settings and the villages. I'm like, none of that looks like England. Well, obviously it was set 1,000 years ago, but I mean, I love the first 7 seasons were incredible of Game of Thrones. But they did not do justice to the Night King. They didn't do justice to Daenerys. The only guy that lived, John, he probably got the fucking worst fate, going back to the wall like a piece of shit criminal who's been stripped of all of his titles. Shout out to Tyrion, though. He found a way how to end up on top, you know? Hand of the King, got freed, all that stuff. Oh, man. What are your thoughts on him? Who was your favorite character, would you say, of Game of Thrones? Not who you'd like to be, but whose journey you thought was pretty good.
Sir Brandon the Blackwater.
Sir Brandon the Blackwater.
That dude came up. And Podrick and Sir Bran.
Yeah.
The guy that basically Tyrion's bodyguard. That guy. He went from like sellsword all the way to lord, had castles, all that shit. All he want to do is fight, fuck, and get paid. That guy.
Oh yeah, that selfish prick. That I mean, he was cool with you, but his bottom line was he wanted to make sure he got paid.
Was the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I like you, but I'm here for my gold. That was great. I kind of, I don't know. With Jamie, a lot of people did like. What were your thoughts on him near the end of the show? Did you become a fan of him? Because a lot of people became massive fans of Jamie near the end.
I don't know, sister fucker. It's kind of.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that was the one drawback. I mean, and then you got
one
John,
drawback.
I mean, yeah. You gotta pick
the
your
dude
poison,
threw
man.
Brad out of a window because he's fucking as fuck because he witnessed the. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and
that's a tough sell from like really like was that episode 1? Like I don't even know, like
tried to murder a child and in cold blood. Or what about the time where he forcefully basically raped his own sister next to the corpse of his son? That was pretty extreme.
Yeah, kind of. That was a hard sell, and then they both got crushed to death under the. I don't know. Yeah, and it certainly would be Jamie.
Yeah.
Although
I
did like the way he he stood up for his family. That dude did fight for his fucking squad. I will give him that.
Yeah, for his father, for his brother, and his thing. Cersei. I was actually a big fan of her. Like she was quite hot the first couple of seasons. Near the end, oh man, she was just so repulsive. Like she'd fuck anything, Her cousin, her brother, that was messed up. And yeah, John as well. He got into incest as well, didn't he? When he fucked his aunt. There was a lot of incest in that show. Crazy amounts.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with you guys. Inbred Jed ass fucking island. But you guys probably should like undo Brexit and get some goddamn labor in there and like actually like make sure the bloodline stays fresh.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the British politics, they are all kinds of fucked up. I've actually stopped paying attention to politics. I probably haven't voted or even paid attention in almost 10 years. I feel like just my vote probably doesn't make a difference. I guess I'm kind of in that situation, and I feel like I don't really like relying on governments because I feel like if you can kind of make good wealth for yourself, like you can live a really good life and take care of your family without really any kind of interference. But I think for me, that's what I really want. Like, say if I become worth, I don't know, 100 million or whatever, no matter who rules the country, I'm gonna be happy in my little corner of the world somewhere. So I guess that's what you've done for yourself as well, Smoke, right? When you made your first million and you're retired now, for you, it could be Trump, it could be Biden, it could be whoever. I mean, to you, it doesn't really make a difference, does it?
Fuck, it doesn't. You know how leveraged I am in fucking cannabis stocks?
Oh, okay.
This fucking idiot, like, blew the biggest gimme in, like, my political life. Like, how is it that you don't legalize fucking cannabis and you're just sitting around fucking, there's no resistance to it. There's no reason for it to not be legal, but this dude is just fucking incompetent. I actually hate the fucking Democrats right now. The Republicans are no option for me. But yeah, of course it matters to me. This is my life where I still like care about what the fuck I did with my life when it comes to like, like the 30 years I put in being a corporate fucking idiot.
Fair enough. But there has to be a big reason though, because if there are so many positives to it, including the business aspects and the health aspects, there has to be some really massive reason why he's not allowed to do it.
No, there isn't. It's already past the 2/3 threshold. They already kicked it down in the Supreme Court. It's literally, it's just not a priority for the current president. It's like the biggest gimme ever. Like there is no resistance to it.
But can't you buy weed though legally? I thought there were dispensaries.
Yeah,
in
my
America.
state. Yeah, I'm good. Like I can go in. Like right now, it's just that like I'm just leveraged. Right, I just got like I got like spoiled guy problems. Right.
Yeah, to be fair, if If you live anywhere in America, you'd probably be Cali. There's the weed, the beaches, the women, the opportunities as far as media and stuff. You'd have to be California, you know.
If you are a California native,
Yep.
it's going to be kind of hard to go somewhere else. Like my extended family is outside of California, is in New Orleans, and I'm not trying to live in New Orleans. Like, shout out to fucking Lil Wayne and Baby or whatever the fuck his name is, and whomever else that lives in New Orleans that's not my family, right? But I'm just like, yeah, I'm
New
not
York?
living in that spot. New York, I lived in New York, but New York is goddamn cold. It's dirty, and my family's not there. So,
fair enough.
like every time there's something, whenever I have to do something that's family oriented, I have to fly the entire length of the fucking country to do it.
Yeah. But although I heard from I've heard that California is not no, the wealth isn't sort of evenly spread out in America. So California, like a place like Cali, is super rich, super cool, super hip. But there are places like Detroit, Baltimore, Georgia, Mississippi, which are complete dumps compared to California.
I don't know. I'm not trying to go to any of those places. I don't like. What the fuck would I go to Detroit for?
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's like the argument I was having with that piece of
it's
shit.
It's like saying like if you live in like if you live in London, like why would you go to Newcastle or like Leeds? Like what the fuck is?
Yeah, that's true. There's like that guy that having an argument with, right? He was trying to compare a beachfront property, right? Nice Pebble Beach, you know, in a nice location, nice part of town where you got really good access to bars and hotels. Comparing that to some little shithole in Birmingham, like, come on, like, how would that even make sense? Because it's just not comparable. He was telling me that Birmingham was the second. What the hell was he saying? It was the second city during the Empire. And I told him, bro, do you not realize over the last several decades, Manchester has eclipsed Birmingham in every single way? But what are you talking about? It hasn't been the second city of the UK in 100 years.
But Birmingham has Peaky Blinders.
That's true. Birmingham. See, that was when Birmingham was hot. That's when Birmingham was hot. But as soon as the UK sort of went from the British Empire to more of like a modern European United Kingdom, Manchester just completely took over. You know, went through a massive boom as far as infrastructure, business, media, finance, living standards. It's just not comparable. You know, because I've been to the north and Manchester and Birmingham. It's like it'd be like comparing Vancouver to I don't know some piece of shit in the middle of nowhere in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Saskatchewan. Fucking Greenland. Oh, god damn. Was it New Brunswick? I was in fucking New Brunswick. There's nobody there. Anyway, I've chopped up all these goddamn subjects. I didn't even plan on being on this fucking long.
Thanks for having me on, Smoke. To be honest, it's been quite a pleasant life. We didn't argue, we didn't cut each other off, and it's just me and you. We actually got on quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even goddamn Major Key came in, did his fucking thing. This was actually one of the least contentious fucking lives. And I actually like kind of going during the day, even though I had workers. I was gone for part of it. I had to go and get dinner. I'm still trying to fucking eat some food right now. I'm fucking hungry. Yep.
Do you know what it is? When we're on other lives, it's because we're on a Free Smoke Live. The atmosphere is so hostile. We've probably just come out of an argument with someone, and when we run into each other and disagree, it's already that type of environment. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, so a lot of people, like, I don't know what it is about, like, the YTBC and, like, talking at the same time. But this shit is just fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand how people... Okay. And this is my thing. I have noticed that people who have done time, they're way more acclimated to just everybody talking at once. Yeah. But I haven't done time, and so I'm not used to that shit. And I don't know if this is like, if I'm even right, but this seems to be the thing, like what I've observed so far. And it's just a cultural thing. I'm just not, I'll get there, but like right now, like fucking hell, like what I have to do, and then yeah, it's like
No, I'm saying, do you think it was flashbacks of prison when they all had to scream at once for their fucking pudding?
like I don't know. Maybe it's just always loud, always 50 million conversations going on at once, and that's just like home or some shit. And the shit you have to tell, like say to people for them to like have a conversation.
I miss a dog. Hold on. Fucking oh man, that's why I'd always get annoyed talking to Mr. Dove. He wouldn't let anyone get a fucking word in. So he said two things and started screaming, "Hold on!" and trying to debate you about a point you never even fucking made.
Yeah, like the fuck, man. No, stop. Like just stop. Yeah, man. Like stop getting triggered. I get it. Like just because you're triggered doesn't mean I'm done. Like fuck.
That's funny, man.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, like shout out to the chat. Let me see if I catch up. Tony, Big Papa Pumping. I don't know. Mayorga Figueroa coming up. Cool. Yes, cool fight. Smash a like. That's cool. The camel clutch. That's an old school wrestling shit. Thanks for that. Estrada should not be on the bottom of the pound for pound list, and also Navarrete should be getting considered to be on it. Navarrete should not be considered on the pound for pound list. That dude's fucking.
No, his actual performance.
I
So
don't fucking
what are
know.
we talking about? Like, again, that was it 2 divisions, but I mean, come on, he looked really
Yeah,
horrible.
whatever. That dude looked like straight garbage in his fucking last fight. Did he get dropped?
Yeah, he got really badly hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt a bunch of times. I think he got dropped in that fight against a nobody. Dude that had almost no fights out of fucking DC, pound for
I think he
pound.
got dropped
What?
twice, though.
Estrada, like, listen, all you like. I make fun and I sometimes get exasperated with the UK fans and them always trying to sell me on some dumb shit. Yeah, you Latino fans that come do this type of shit. They're like always hyping your fucking guy up like past anybody's like interest in this fucking thing. Like go somewhere with this shit, bro. Like Estrada, I mean, whatever, cool. He's not pound for pound. He was, I don't know. I don't think he is right now. And Navarrete is. I'll put it like this. I'll say he's still like the dog bay fights are still really the highlight of his career.
Can I be honest? Like, no offense to him, but I mean that's not really like a super elite level window, is it? Like when you think pound for pound, if people are questioning Devin Haney's pound for pound status, and he actually beat a unified, lineal, undefeated champion coming off of a massive win over a pound for pound guy, then I mean, who the fuck is Dog Bay? Like, it is so weird. I'm in a position where I have to defend Devin Haney because the Shakur fans and the Tank fans are fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like people just can't keep it straight. Like I can understand. Like I'm a fan, and this dude talks shit, so I'm gonna talk my shit. Cool. I get that, but like, why are you acting like what you're saying isn't have like super self-interested and with an agenda and a narrative attached to it?
No, it's like, oh, now Devin Haney's acting funny. Shakur's moved up. I'm not, bro. He moved up about 6 weeks ago. You do realize he's been trying to fight Lomachenko for nearly 6 months, and the deal's done. It's like I don't know. I've been accused of being a Haney fan, but I'm like, bro, I'm not. But you keep. It's crazy, Smoke. Like they'd put you in this position where, if you're being honest, and all you have to do is tell them the timeline. They're like, oh, cut that shit out, Jimmy. You trying to protect Devin Haney? I'm like, with what? The fucking truth? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not. I have so much. I only have so much energy for it. Like I don't mind a good back and forth if that is the spirit. Like I like these fights. So like things like Shakur, Devin Haney Tank, those are good fights. Tiafimo, but so like however that shit goes, if it's a back and forth, that's cool. If you just start just screaming and cursing and all that shit, it's not that serious, man. Like I don't even get it.
You know what I was saying? Because I didn't want to argue with him, right? When I was saying, oh, you know, the Tank fans, when I'd say I want to see Tank, they'd be like, he's young. That was method. You're telling me stop putting pressure on Tank. He's only 28. Was it 26? And I was like, okay. But then when it came to Haney, you want the Shakur
he's 28 years old. What the fuck?
Yeah,
28 years old.
He's only 28, right? And then when Haney's 23, after becoming undisputed, the fight needs to happen now, or I'm not a real boxing fan. But that's not what you were saying 6 months ago when it came to Tank. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna shut this down for real this time. It was great talking. Yeah, peace out to you guys. I'll see you in these YouTube streets. Yes, I will be going over to Aisha's. Yeah, but yeah, shout out to you guys. Stop being so goddamn crazy in these YouTube streets. And do I have a? You know what? I do have a song. No, I don't have a song for you. Not for this live. But until next time, guys. Peace, peace.